it's no.
Hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys Live podcast. It is Thursday, the 5th of June. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna. It is episode 533. Title, just a double. But it is also our end of season review. And, of course, I'm joined by Russell Martin's Evian. Marty Flynn. Marty's gone dark, has he? Marty's gone silent. I was a limp start. Hey, well, let's move over to our brother on Wishaw.
Hey,
Higgins, what's happening, brother? You good?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. It's unlike Flynn to have fucking dodgy audio, but there you go. And joined by King of the Stados, the man is going to impress us all, as he does every year, this time of year, going over the season, reminding us what we've seen, because our memories are fucked. So, Scott McCordy. There he is.
How are you, pal?
I'm good. How are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right.
How long has it taken you to do this research?
Aye. A bit.
Well, expand on that, because I think people underestimate the work you put in, because you put in.
I don't know. I kind of done it all a couple of days. You know what I mean? Just kind of when I got a chance. So don't worry about that, Joe.
You like one of them artists that goes into flow state where they're doing stat stuff and fucking. You like one of them just getting lost in the moment. Next thing, 6 hours have gone by and you're fucking.
Aye, that kind of shit.
Up the arbolics and notes.
That's it. Aye, definitely. So what's happening?
So it's all good.
That's how you're the fucking coach of the year, winning trophies now.
Well, here's the thing, right? So under 10s team, right, had a tournament. Now the season ended the Saturday before, right? And we got fucking uber pumped in the last game of the season, right? I don't want to talk about that because it was bad, like so bad that we were a coaches group and you always put in the result, even if you got beat. So bad we didn't put the result in. We just said we lost. That's how bad it was. It was a terrible way to end the season. But anyway, so we had the tournament coming up. So the way the leagues work in the DDSL in Dublin is like, I don't know if it's the same in Scotland. Scott, it's like there's almost like 10 to 11 leagues within an under 10 league. You know what I mean? So you have 10-1, 10-2, 10-3, 10-4, 10-5. We're 10-5, right? And the tournament we played in on Sunday was 10-2. And it was a big place out in Blanchardstown, a place called Hartstown. And we were up against a good team. So Kevin's good team up against the local team, Hartstown, and also up against another team from, can't remember where they're from, River Valley, Swords. Anyway, so it's one of them ones, 50-minute games all the way through, no halves, kind of rolling subs if you need them. And the lads put up a good fight against like a big opposition that was higher than them. But here's the thing, right? See when blatant cheating happens, Scott, like I lose my fucking shit. Right? It's the thing that really pushes me over the edge. Like, not even when like it doesn't take me moments. It takes within fucking seconds. I go from fucking 0 to 11 because of fucking blatant cheating. And we were 2-2 against the local team, the team that was hosting the tournament. See, you paid to get into this thing as well. You know what I mean? The kids are all enjoying themselves. And it was 2-2, and it was a hard fought game. And the very last minute, they knocked the ball in, and it basically got to almost to the goal line. And my wee lad ran back and cleared it off the lane, and he did clear it off the lane, 100%. It didn't even get to the actual lane, and they gave it as a goal. And I lost my fucking shit. I lost my shit. And then we agreed with the coaches it was going to be a draw, and then they put it down on the app as a fucking win, and I was fucking fuming. But anyway, the way it transpired was where we landed in the group. We ended up playing for the Shield, which was the secondary trophy to the actual trophy. We ended up playing a team, and it was again a team that was probably a good bit better than we were, and got it to 1-1, and then won it in penalties. And it was a great ball. It's just to see the lads fucking just, do you know what young lads want to do in moments like that? They want to act like they're heroes of their football. I can see all that run towards the keeper when the penalty shootout's won, and it's fucking they're just buzzing. It's just great. You know what I mean? Even though like the plate they get is probably worth like the 20 euro. You know what I mean? And it's fucking, it's not, but it's just the whole bond and experience of doing it was brilliant. I mean, and again, it's not really about coaching. It's just about fucking trying to get them to realize that if you go out there and work hard, good things can happen, and you can achieve stuff, and you can actually make stuff happen in your fucking life. You know what I mean? That's kind of the message that I try to send out to them. I mean, so it was brilliant. It was great experience. Great experience.
Well done, Joe. Coach of the year.
I've had my moments. I've had some fucking had some dicey moments. I mean, the temper gets the better of me, Scott. But I mean, that's just the way it is. Anyway, this isn't about me, Scott. It's about you. And
right.
And Marty Flynn, if he ever comes back.
I'm here.
You'll find him.
Well, we fucking said hello to you at the start, and you were AWOL.
No, you didn't hear me saying I'm going to do a slice.
Ah, right. What's the story of Russell Martin's Evian? What's the
Isn't that the other day? For fuck's sake, the fucking BBC dickhead's licking his hole. He poured himself a glass of water, then he poured him another glass for someone else. What a wagger.
I didn't see this, but that
Watergate.
is...
It's a fair assumption of it, man.
It's this year's succulent lamb.
What are we doing here?
What
Well, what are we about to learn, Scott, about this season? I imagine your end of season view was a lot different to the view you got from going over the entire season, because you did text me.
You did forget about the season. It was funny. I messaged Jason earlier on when we were talking about something, and I'd watched it was a wee show for February with Callum McGregor, and I hadn't watched it. And I was doing something. I stuck. It was only on 20 minutes or something, and he was talking about the treble season under Rodgers when Rodgers scored, and he says it was such an important goal because we didn't want people to kind of poo-poo the season we had, because we would still have been a double, but we got that treble and we made it important, and everybody remembers the treble and unbeaten. And it's kind of he's almost right, isn't he, that people have kind of wrote off the season because we lost against Aberdeen and we're finding big holes. Whereas if you, like, once we get through it, you kind of realise it's been a fucking really good season. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but what season is fucking perfect? I think what Celtic have done, and certainly Brendan Rodgers, they're making trebles is fucking, we spoke about that already, but they're making trebles the norm, which fucking very much on it. Do you know what I mean? I think Jason spoke very well about it last week, talking about Ellie and how she's lived it and all that, and basically we fucking saw land before Rodgers turned up, you know what I mean? So right, you want me to get going then?
Aye, take us there. I love when you do this because it brings up so much shit you forget about.
Right, so no the script, right? I'll batter through things and then kind of he's jump in whenever he's want, but you know the script. We can fly through. I'm kind of broke it up month on month, so here we go. So last season finished. That was your 130th season of competitive football with a treble. A late Adam made a goal delivering the Scottish Cup to complete the set. So Celtic went into the 2024-25 season, again led by Brendan Rodgers. This is his fourth season overall of a two-spell stay at the club, and his second year of a 3-year contract. His fifth season overall. A busy enough summer as Celtic again entered the Champions League without a qualifier, as the new Belgian system was introduced, which would see us play 8 games instead of the old 6 in a group, and we would compete in a full league. Joe Hart, of course, retired after 2 years with the club, whilst Ben Quinn, Mackenzie Cars, Kai McLean, and Magnus Mackenzie, and Liam Shaw, in fact, Benny Jackson Llewellyn, would all shoot their deals and depart the club. Rocco Va, despite being talked up by the manager about new deals and stuff, also finished his contract and joined Watford, and Celtic were afforded a $250,000 development fee. We also received another $400,000 for young Daniel Kelly, as he decided to try himself in England also and signed for Millwall. Sead Haksabanovic would return and depart. He joined Malmo in Sweden for an undisclosed fee. Benjamin Siegrist, equally unspectacular spell at the club, also ended as he joined Rapid Bucharesti, again for an undisclosed fee. One of the few there's a player in there players left in the summer also is O departed for a fruitful season in Belgian football as he joined Genk for another undisclosed fee, this time said to be around 3.5 million. Bosun Lawal surprisingly joined Stoke City, and more surprising for us, for around 2 million. Our Japanese contingent shrank a bit as Yoki Kobayashi departed for Portugal and Portimonense, and for an undisclosed fee. And then Tomoki Iwata headed to England in English First Division and joined Birmingham City for a fee said to be £1 million. Mikey Johnson eventually cut all ties with the club and joined West Brom for £3 million after his loan. The big one, however, was Matt O'Reilly, as he ended his own 2.5-year spell and departed the club for the Piers of Brighton and for a fee of around £25 million. Signed by Ange Postecoglou in January 2022 from MK Dons for around £1.5 million. He was an instant success. He played 124 games, scored 27 goals and won 3 titles, 2 Scottish Cups and 2 Scottish League Cups. And we still bloody miss him. So we also had a bust of players heading out the door on loan. Marco Tellio extended his loan with Melbourne City and remains there now, I think. Dane Murray had a spell with Queen's Park. Kwon, after a semi-successful spell with St Mirren the season previous, headed to Edinburgh for a year loan. And Hibs, Toby Olayemi headed to Dunfermline for a season. Gustav Lagerbielke grabbed his own 1-year loan with 20 in the Eredivisie, while Matthew Anderson and Ben Summers both followed Olayemi's path from the season before and joined Admira Wacker in the Austrian Second Division. Who came in? Right, so, well, we had agreed eventually to sign Kasper Schmeichel as Joe Hart replacement after his contract finished with Anderlecht. We also put a succession plan in place by picking up Viljami Sinisalo from Aston Villa for £1 million. Paulo Bernardo, after a decent loan spell last season, saw the deal completed. He was signed for around £3.4 million with future fees, of course. A lot of the summer passed, but Celtic eventually got their deal to get Adam Ida permanently agreed for around £8.5 million. We picked up Alec Valle, a highly rated Spanish left-back from Barcelona, for a season loan after a successful spell with Levante the previous season. Sheffield United US international defender Austin Trusty was signed for around £6 million. Our biggest signing for quite a while also happened this summer as Celtic picked up Arne Engels, a 21-year-old Belgian midfielder from Bundesliga side Augsburg for a fee of around £11 million. We completed our summer signings incomings with a late deal to sign Luke McCowan from Dundee for £1 million. Relax. Right. Friendlies. We lined up for a friendly in Ayr versus Scott Brown's Ayr United team. A 1-1 draw with the championship side, a Kyogo pen the only strike for us. We followed that up 5 days later with a 6-4 win away at Queen's Park. Kyogo hat-trick, O'Reilly strike and a goal from O and a goal for the future hope Francis Turley. We then headed to the States for a mini tour. In Washington, a 4-0 win over DC United, whilst kind of surprising, O'Reilly with 2, Mikey Johnson and a James Forrest goal. That was followed by a fantastic 4-3 win over Man City in Chapel Hill. Nicholas Kuhn giving us a wee indicator about what's coming up with 2 goals, Kyogo and a Lewis Palmer strike. We completed the tour with that fantastic 4-1 win over Chelsea at Notre Dame, and we were now looking like a serious unit. More goals for O'Reilly, Kyogo, Palmer and Johnson. We completed pre-season with a wee friendly in Sligo, as Marty was talking about, versus Sligo Rovers. A 3-2 win with a Lewis Palmer hat-trick. Signs of things to come, maybe. Now, this to take it away for the football a wee bit, on the 4th of July, a prominent member of the extended Celtic family passed away. Rosemary Burns, at the age of 69, fell ill on a flight home for a holiday. The widowed wife of Celtic legend Tommy Burns, and it was another sad day for the Burns household. So, let's get into August. Flag Day was Sunday the 4th of August, and the season kicked off in style at Celtic Park. 4-0 win over Kilmarnock on the day. Rio Hatate, Liam Scales, Kuhn, and a Tony Ralston effort putting the bow on a great sunny day. We followed that up with a Hibby double. A great 2-0 away win in Edinburgh with the first half goals again from Kuhn and captain Callum McGregor, enough in the day. And then it was a 3-1 League Cup second round win at Celtic Park with a double from Dyson Maeda and another Kuhn goal, enough to dampen any prospective Hibs comeback. A good 3-0 away followed away to St Mirren, goals again from McGregor, Hatate and Alistair Johnson strike to set up the first derby of the season. So Celtic start top of the pile straight away, 9 points for 9. But we were joined by Aberdeen, who also had an 100% record, with Rangers sitting a further two behind. At the end of August, Celtic were drawn the inaugural UEFA Champions League stage with the previous season's finalists Borussia Dortmund, with Europa League winners Atalanta, Belgian champions Club Brugge, Croatian champions Dynamo Zagreb, Swiss champions Young Boys, Slovakian champions Slovan Bratislava, and the fourth place side from both the Bundesliga and English Premier League in RB Leipzig and Aston Villa. So there's your August, boys. Anything we want to be talking about there?
No, we got a decent start, but also just on the Champions League draw. I think at that stage everybody thought we had done the best we could do in terms of the draw. We were like going, fuck, we do have a chance. We have the best chance probably we'll ever have for that draw.
Aye, definitely. But it was amazing. Like you don't really put much into pre-season, but it was the beating Man City and thumping Chelsea. You know, you were like, and obviously you don't put a lot into pre-season because they just started with more into your pre-season blah, but you're still beating them, and it was a great confidence booster. And then, as you say, we go off at a train, win every game in August easy, and obviously we're coming up to the Derby game, and it was just brilliant. You know, you were like, this is the way it should be, and obviously that mob had dropped a couple of points and whatever, and Aberdeen were neck and neck with us, but what a start it was. It was absolutely brilliant.
It's mad
you were at that Chelsea game, were you, Jason?
I was, aye.
That was amazing.
It's mad you talk about the US tour, because see at that point you were looking at it because Matt O'Reilly was unbelievable. Even at the start of the season, Matt O'Reilly was unbelievable, and you did wonder if him leaving would be a massive hole in the team. Well, certainly I thought, because he just looked so bloody good. Do you know, actually, I think his form in that pre-season actually got us the 25 million.
Because it was against Chelsea, against Man City, I would agree with you. But he was we always say he was a Rolls Royce player, but in their games, I mean, he would have walked into both of their teams.
Yeah.
But he was outstanding, without a doubt. It was like pitting, but that beating Chelsea 4-1, obviously I was there, and it was like a big ambition of mine to go and watch Celtic play in America, and it fucking didn't disappoint. It was out of this world. But it was the fact that we beat them 4-1 and 4-1 getting on fucking 8-1. And you were just like, fucking, this is just so good. It's like, you obviously do get carried away. You say yourself, don't get carried away. It's just a pre-season friendly. And then obviously when the league started and the League Cup against Hibs as well, brilliant. What a start to the season.
Mm-hmm. Okay, September started with a bang. The Glasgow Derby at Celtic Park. A Dyson opener was followed by a lovely place finish by Kyogo, and then Captain Callum with another great third to get a deserved 3 points. We then hosted Hearts at Celtic Park. Despite the catcalls from the opposition, Arnie Engels grabbed his first goal for the club from the spot, as did Luke McCowan with a late strike after coming on as a sub. Celtic entered the European stage for the first time in the season, and a tremendous evening in Celtic Park. A 5-1 battering of Slovan Bratislava. Scales' goal had his one up with the break, but Kyogo's, Engels, Maeda, and then a first Adam Maeda goal since his return made everyone sit and think about this cup. In the League Cup quarter-finals, we hosted Championship winners elect Falkirk in a very entertaining tie. Going down early, Celtic would eventually win 5-2 as Falkirk showed they were a decent side. We were away next. A 6-0 win away at St Johnstone. Kyogo with an odd double, a Paulo Bernardo first of the season, and more goals from McGregor, Dyson, and Ida getting another one. So things were going well. At the end of that month, we were top of the league with 18 points, still alongside Aberdeen, who had that great start. Rangers were sat 5 points behind us both in third. In the Champions League, after one game, Celtic sat in joint first place. We're bloody winning this thing.
Aye, and again, you're saying for the start we had in August, we just took it into overdrive in September, and everybody was fucking graphing up. You're like, this is going to be unbelievable. It turned out to be an unbelievable season, in fairness, but just you couldn't have, by the time you got to the start of September, you couldn't have dreamed a better start to the season.
Yeah.
Impossible.
No, I mean, like, I don't know about you. I'm sitting reading this, and when I was writing it, with a big fucking smile on my face, just thinking back to how good it was. It was what a buzz. They were fucking capitulating, but that wasn't even in your head. I mean, you were laughing at them more than anything else. You weren't thinking about them. Aberdeen were fucking romping the place, and we were, but you were still kind of dismissing them. You were like, we're magic, man.
I know, and do you know what? See, all through the season, right? Obviously, we only beat that mob once in the week, and I always, in the back of my mind, I can't even remember that 3-0 game. And obviously, the reason I can't remember it is I watched it in fucking Bilbao, because me and Linda always go on holidays like the first 2 weeks of September, and just done it for years, and that's kind of when we like going away, and. So I watched the game in Barnagresco with the Bilbao boys, and what an atmosphere that was. It was outstanding. But as I say, you're in a boozer watching at your bed, and you're hardly watching the game, you know, and it was easy street, you know, but to be at the game as well, it must have been amazing, you know, but so that's just, by the time we got to September, it was just fucking dreamland, and then obviously you're going to start and we're going to...
Aye. Anybody else about September? I was obviously, that Huns game you're talking about, I was with the Hawk.
Nobody forgets the Hawk.
Have you recovered yet?
The Hawk's a fucking human roller coaster. Once you've been on it, you go, fuck in here, listen, you gotta get ready.
I'm surprised you made it home.
Still doesn't know if he is home or not. Anyway,
I done him right. I slipped him a bottle of wine as soon as I saw him. No, I know how it works.
September. Just looking at the results of the season here. September was great.
No. But sorry.
September was great, but then the big fucking come down is literally 4 days away. 4 days away from the 6th November.
So we headed to Dortmund, and it's fair to say there was a lot of confidence going into Dortmund. I didn't really share that confidence, but I didn't think what was going to happen.
Sorry, Scott. See what came to the question you sent us. What I was going to say, and like the HomeBhoys kind of take of the year was like all of us being confident about Dortmund.
I would dip out that confidence thing. You know me.
You've never been confident about absolutely anything. Anything to do with Celtic. You maybe have deep down, but you don't say it.
Scott McCorry, he's eternally unsure.
Yeah, that's it. Aye.
When skies are grey.
Right, so we headed to Dortmund. A trip that had been dreamt by some Celtic fans. Our first trip to a competitive game with Dortmund since the early 1990s, and we get fucking stuffed. 7-1, an early penalty cancelled out by Dyson was as good as it got, as we showed real naivety against what was then and turned out to be a pretty poor Dortmund team. Anyway, fuck that. We got back into the groove with it on the Sunday after, with a late 2-1 win in Dingwall. Coming back from a half-time 1-0 deficit, goals from Ali Johnson and another Kuhn goal in the 88th minute, picking the team off the floor. In hindsight, a fucking massive result. Next up was league challengers Aberdeen in maybe one of the games of the season. 2-0 up with a break, looking really great through Rio and Kyogo. Aberdeen's made some really good positive changes and pulled themselves back into the game, and at one point making it 3-2 until correctly overturned by VAR. We all feared the next Euro away, apart from Jason. Jason was confident as hell. And but Celtic and Brendan Rodgers grew. We ground out a fantastic 0-0 in Bergamo. We finished the month with two good wins. A 3-0 away win over Murrell, McCowan, another Johnson goal, and a lovely late Ida strike for a comfortable afternoon, and then a 2-0 win over Dundee at Celtic Park. AJ with another goal in the 60th minute, followed by an Engels penalty soon after. So on the last day of October, Celtic sat in first place, 28 points on board, joined by Aberdeen, who also had 28 points. Rangers sat in third, 9 points behind. In the Champions League, we were sat in 20th place from 3 games. 4 points on board. It's sitting in between PSG and Sparta Prague. We were five points away from top. We were 4 points away from bottom. We were 3 points away from 8th place. And we were 1 place away from the 25th place and out. Unfortunately, on the 25th of October, Celtic great Tommy Callahan passed away at the age of 78. Tommy from Cowdenbeath and Fife signed for Celtic from Dunfermline on the 22nd of November in 1968 and played his first game later that month versus Partick Thistle in a 4-0 win in the league. Callahan was an inside left, which today I'm led to believe would be a second striker, not a winger, not a centre forward. He played 284 games for Celtic between 68 and then when he departed for Clydebank for $6,000. I don't know when, I've just lost that. After a wee loan at San Antonio Thunder. He scored 33 goals in that period, 6 of which are in European games. He won the Scottish League on 6 occasions, the Scottish Cup 4, and one of those with Dunfermline before joining Celtic, and the League Cup twice. In quite a compliment, the great Hungarian striker Ferenc Bena said in his opinion, Tommy Callahan was amongst the best midfielders in Europe. To sum up his stature, he was the only player that Jock Stein signed twice. So that takes us into November, right? Plenty to think about there, guys.
Right.
I just want to say too, on Tommy Callahan, he just seemed like an absolute gentleman. I know we love the Lions and all those old players. Obviously, we have an affection for them, but Tommy just seemed like a real sweetheart, just a real decent person.
So we're at the end of October, right? So it was a bit mad because obviously the Dortmund game, as you say, fucking brung us all down to earth in the laugh. And I mind watching the game as well. I mean, it could have been 3 each, easy near the start. But then every shot they had went in, but they fucking ragdolled us stupid, and we were just so naive. And I don't think it was anywhere near as bad as the doing we got in Paris, because I don't think Dortmund were anywhere near as good, but we were.
But did that not make it worse?
Aye, exactly. I don't think they were anywhere near a 7-1. I fully expected them to beat us, but I would have thought 2-1, 3-1 or something. They would have beat us, but to 7-1, it was a fucking disgrace because we were just so naive and just terrible and just.
It was a proper pull your pants down moment, wasn't it? Like,
but the thing was, I'm not saying they got lucky. I don't mean this at all. But every shot they had went in. Do you know? I don't think they had many that they missed. It was like. And a couple of wonder goals as well, but it was just a fucking disaster.
But I mean, I don't seem like I want to seem like a whining bitch, but some of the fucking refereeing in that game was brutal, right? As well.
Aye, but we were just
wasn't going to stop it doing, but I mean, it was fucking. You know.
But then, obviously, after that game, you're starting to get doubts about Rodgers because you're saying to yourself,
"Aye, that's what we come on here and said. We'll come on here and said this guy hasn't learned. Like, once again, this guy won't learn."
It would be interesting to go and listen to that pod back afterwards, because whilst I don't think any is kind of turned on Rodgers, but we were kind of putting question marks towards him. Has he got it in him to now like the boat? Aye, exactly. And he went and answered us, didn't he?
Well, that's the thing. If you look at it, like, I mean, the progression from Dortmund up to the likes of Leipzig was astonishing.
And here's the thing: say we had a scrape and an away draw or a low loss, Rodgers might not have actually made any changes, and we might have ended up getting fucked over left, right, and centre.
It's interesting you say that, Marty. Interesting you say that, right? Because the Dortmund game, right, and you know the Dortmund one was like a fucking dagger in my heart. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going all there, and usually know, I know how much Celtic mean to you. You know how much Celtic mean, and I'm all there with my pals and the Dortmund guys, and this is my love, and even they're feeling sorry for you. Do you know what I mean? They're like, it was like Big Flo came round and seen us the next day, and he's like, Scott, I never enjoyed that, and I was like,
do you know what? That is fucking brutal, mate.
Mate, it was like I had a ticket for Ross County, and I come back, and I never went to Ross County. I was broke. I was broke at that game. I never ever wanted Dortmund, right? Because I didn't want to get beat off of Dortmund, and I it still sees that even talking about it. I've never watched the game back. I've never seen the goals back. It sticks in my throat, man. But to come back to your point, Marty, I think without the Dortmund game, we don't get in Atalanta.
Well, this is it.
I agree with you.
I think the Dortmund game, unfortunately, it had to happen. Did it have to be as brutal? I don't know, but I think it had to happen for us to get to where we think we are.
It's one of them things you have to be brutally assaulted before you actually think about how you can possibly defend yourself going forward.
So you're right, and then we kind of scrape the win against Ross County, but the W, right? We get that. You're scraping a win against Sligo Rovers in a friendly, and then you're drawn with Aberdeen at home, right? So going to Atalanta, you're like, oh, fucking hell, you know, and it's like, and Aberdeen at the time were still top of the league, so you're saying they're a decent side, but Celtic at home, you would fully expect us to fucking romp them, and we didn't. But at the end of the day, we got a point, fair enough. So then going to Atalanta, when you're over there and you're getting bevied and you're like, I've got a good chance, but deep down, I'm like, we're going to get fucking thumped tonight because they're a fucking top quality side. And the way they won that Europa League the year before in Dublin, fucking hell, they were fucking outstanding against a top class Leverkusen team. Yeah. And you're just like, fucking, they destroyed them. So I'm like, damage limitation here. See, before the game, see if you'd have said to me, we'll get beat 1-0 or we'll get beat 2-1, I would have probably took it. You know, just to kind of get a bit of your fucking pride back. And then at the game, they were the better team without a doubt. We had a couple of chances, but it was the way we defended. We kind of set out to get a 0-0 draw, it looked like. And I'd never seen a Celtic team play like that before. Yeah. And at the end of the game, it was fucking brilliant. You know, the atmosphere was outstanding. And that, to me, was just, Brendan Rodgers has arrived here.
Yeah.
You know?
There was that feeling, wasn't there? Like, going like, oh, right, we were fucking totally wrong about him. He's drawn from experience here and going like, that won't happen again.
My missus hates watching football with me, right? It's in the house, right? See, the irony is, at the games, I generally don't say much. I'll sit and talk to people, but I don't. I'm not a big rant or raver. I'm not one of these shouters.
Rosie gets it, does she? She's fucking
but during because my nerves are away to fuck. You know what I mean? Sitting in the house, I'm on the flare, I'm walking about, and I'm fucking doing it. She's like, go and have a beer, do something, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck. And I remember lying on the flare when we got the draw. I was fucking, I was buzzing, man. Aye, what a night, aye. That was, but what I would say, see, had we put us in that situation without getting the doing off of Borussia Dortmund, I think we might have opened up a wee bit more. And I think they were waiting for us to open up.
Aye, back to Mark's point, it was like an epiphany moment for Rodgers, just saying we can't play like this against these teams, and it'll go further on when you played against. But don't get me wrong, see against Bayern Munich, we kind of matured into a team with them that we were actually still defending and counter attack.
There was a step up from Atalanta, the clear step up. Against
even at Vallaways, but we'll get to them. But no,
we'll get to them.
Yeah.
Right, we on to November, guys.
We're on to November.
Here, by the way, can I just say, Rosie, get the camera out next time he's at home watching the game because we need to see this shit. Apparently, this is some wild behaviour. And
I think that's what Joe like. See, when I coach the Wayne's team, I'm constantly talking and all that. But honestly, I don't know. Marty will tell you. See games. I'll just watch a game and I'll maybe make comments and all that, but I'm not a shouter. I'm not like one of the guys now tries to coach it, and the only person you're fucking coaching is the guy in front of you. Anyway, right. So November games were coming thick and fast. Wouldn't be easing up anytime soon. With the semi-final trip to Hampden against a hungry Aberdeen, and they were slapped down. A 6-0 pumping Cameron Carter-Vickers was first of the season, followed by a Kyogo goal with another Kun effort and a Daisen Maeda hat-trick. A great performance. We followed that up with maybe our finest of the season, a 3-1 defeat of German side RB Leipzig at Celtic Park. Despite going to go down in the 20th odd minute, Celtic rallied, and soon after had equalised through Kun again. He followed that up late in the first half to take the lead. Hatate scored in the second half to put a shine on an excellent evening's work. We went away to Kelly and a 2-0 win and a 2-0 victory with second half goals from Callum McGregor and, of course, Nicholas Kuhn taking the points. An unusual Saturday night match in Tynecastle was up next. Tickets were tough, but Celtic were tougher. A great 4-1 victory. Kyogo, Kuhn and an Adam Ida double were enough to take the points, with all goals once again coming in the second half. Celtic were expecting, but things never really went to plan when Club Bruges came to town. Bruges looked excellent in the first half, but a crazy own goal gave them the lead through Carter-Vickers. But Maeda got us back in the game, and honestly, we probably could have grabbed the win in that second half, but a point seemed fair. The month finished with a 5-0 win at Celtic Park over Ross County. Liam Scales with another headed goal was followed goals by McCowan, Bernardo, Calmack and Adam Ida, all goals in the first half this time. So now, at the end of the month, Celtic sat on top, this time alone as Aberdeen Challenge is taking some hits. We were on 40 points, Aberdeen were 7 behind on 33, while Rangers were in third, 13 points behind us. The Champions League table, after 5 matches, had us sitting in 20th from 36. We had 8 points on board and a 0 goal difference. We were 7 points off top, 8 points off bottom. We were 2 away from 8th and 4 away from 25th. At this point, we were sandwiched between Juve and Feyenoord. Another Celtic player passed away, ex-Celtic player passed away this month, as John McNamee left us on the 30th of November, 1983. Signed from Bellshill Athletic, the Coatbridge native joined the club on the 13th of August 1960 and represented the club at centre-back for 38 games, scoring 3 goals. He departed Celtic for Hibs and ended up having a great career in England with Newcastle and Blackburn, amongst others, winning the Eurofair Cup with Newcastle. Ironically, he was signed from Hibs from Celtic by Jockstein himself. So that's November, boys.
Yep. A load to get through as well, and obviously the RB Leipzig game was just unbelievable. And see at this point in time, if you could fast forward and say Nicholas Kuhn, how much he'd have fell off a cliff, you wouldn't have believed them, because he was just fucking unbelievable.
At that moment, the wind was at his back, wasn't it? At that moment, the wind was at his back.
Oh,
that month specifically.
But do you know what? It was like for the Leipzig game was that good. See the Club Bruges game, I was a wee bit apprehensive because I did think they were a better team than people were giving them credit, because the vast majority of Celtic fans thought we were going to win out the park, and obviously didn't transpire, and you were a bit disappointed. You would still fancy Celtic to beat them at home, but they were a good side, and to be honest with you, a draw was a fair result. You know, it'd be mad to say it wasn't. They were a good side. So it is what it is. And for first game, you know, you're looking at that Champions League. Now you're saying to yourself, oh, it's a bit okay, because you know what's coming up. You know the games we've got in front of us. But all in all, you've still to go to Zagreb, and you're Celtic away for home. I'm never majorly confident, but you know you've got HomeBhoys at home and Villa away. So at the 3, you think to yourself, we'll get 4 points minimum. It'll probably be enough for us. But then you're saying if you were to lose in Zagreb, just it was all a wee bit, because if you'd won that game, you're kind of through, because you think you're going to beat HomeBhoys. Do you know what I mean? So it was a wee bit of a downer, because let's face it, the league form was good. You know, the Hearts game was magic, and albeit it was terrible the amount of fans we had there. It was just fucking shocking. But it was a good night, and we had a ball all the same. And still banging the goals in, thumping Ross County, league form, excellent. You know, beating Aberdeen, thumping them in the semi-final. All in all, things were still motoring along absolutely swimmingly.
Just look, 20 goals scored, 3 goals conceded in November.
Aye.
That's fucking, I mean, mother, and that's across the Champions League and the League and the League Cup. I mean, that's...
we only conceded one goal in the league to Hearts away.
Well, I mean, that's superb.
Aye. No, amazing. You know, so get into December, as a season goes, we were all saying best ever in our life.
We really were. Like, we were set, like, that was the attitude at the time. We were fucking spoiled.
Aye.
Scott's disastrous result aside.
Am I taking the hit for it, am I?
Yep. Jonah.
I'm the only one I went to, Jason, so maybe.
You're kind of considered a local dignitary over there. You know what I mean? So it's different. I mean,
right. December again, another massive month for the club in the season. First up was a trip to Pittodrie on a really shit Wednesday evening. In the rain and the wind, Celtic battled through and claimed a 1-0 win through a solo Rio Hatate goal after fantastic work from substitute Greg Taylor. A good 3-0 win over Hibs at Celtic Park followed Engels, a Joe Newell own goal and a Kyogo strike in the day before we headed to Zagreb for a massive game. Dinamo came through somewhat of an injury crisis, were much better than we expected, and another away 0-0 draw was battled for. Opinions varied on how good or bad the result was and performance was, but avoiding away defeats are always needed. But we're off to Hampden afterwards for the first trophy of the season. After a 3-3 draw with Rangers, goals from Greg Taylor, Daisa Maeda and a late Kuhn goal we thought would win it, Celtic eventually have edged out the rivals 5-4 on penalties. Celtic scoring each one, while Yilmaz crucially missed his. This was Celtic's 22nd League Cup win, and crucially for some, it was Celtic's 119th trophy, elevating them to the most trophies won by any club in Scotland, maybe even the world. Next up was a funny game. A 0-0 draw with Dundee United, despite having the most of everything, was a majorly frustrating day. Next up was a 4-0 win over Motherwell at Celtic Park. A late first half penalty for Engels, setting up a comfortable second period with goals from Maeda, Kuhn and Hatate, keeping the points at Celtic Park. Last game of the year was another home tie. We grabbed 4 goals again. Kuhn once again, Dyson and Kyogo double eased us through 2025. So at the end of the year, we were still on top. 54 points, 14 ahead of Rangers, and second, who jumped over Aberdeen, who are now 20 points behind us. In the Champions League, with 2 games to go, we sat in 21st. We had 9 points on board. We were 9 points off top and 9 away from the bottom, so both were out of reach. We were 4 points away from 8th place, but we were only 2 points away from 25th. So at this stage, qualification and elimination were both firmly on the table. Where is your December?
15 goals scored, and once again for the second month in a row, 3 goals conceded, and a trophy in the bag.
Wild, that.
Fucking. Why don't we hang on to these things a lot more?
Kuhn was still fucking rocking and rolling, eh?
Oh, he wasn't half.
Yeah.
Aye.
His
I forgot how tense that final was.
His fall-off is really is a major talking point for when you look back at the season, isn't it? I mean, I dare say we will talk about it, but it's just, and I'm no one to ever read into, you know, like you get guys in the huddle board about fucking how they're looking and how they're, but Kuhn was scoring goals and he was celebrating them like a hero. That wasn't really happening at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean?
No.
That's back when we was signing autographs for kids into the stadium.
Aye. So it's your fault.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's his choice. Listen, the universe has energy. The universe has energy.
The Zagreb game kind of it split us, didn't it, Jason? You thought it was a great result, whereas myself and Liam, we were kind of down about it. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? It's just for years and years watching Celtic away from home in Europe, I know how hard it is, or how difficult, how hard we find it to get a result away from home in Europe, and it's few and far between. And while I do think we had plenty of chances to win the game, and I do think we're a better team than them, I don't know. It's just, I think as well, I think Brendan Rodgers, for the plaudits we gave him for Atalanta, while we're not playing a team that's anywhere near the stature of them, I think he still had a bit of that mindset and not to overcommit and not to fucking go for the jugular and still keep it tight at the back. But take the point, and it proved a worthwhile point, but because in the games, you can go for it in the games and then you end up getting picked off at the back. Aye. No real complaints, but we were the better team, and was it a missed opportunity? Potentially. You can look back at that in the Club Brugge game and say, aye, but Club Brugge were a far better team than Zagreb, but aye, it's just one of them. Just one of them. But as I say, when we got to the end of that month, it was still, the Aberdeen game, the weather was fucking horrific. I drove to that game, the weather was fucking brutal, but it was just good to get the goal and get it over the line. Good result against Hibs. The draw against that mob, aye, you were a bit gutted with that. But and then away to Dundee United, I don't know how we didn't win that game, but
yeah.
And then finished the half with two good results. But aye, so as we got to the end of December, there was no real complaints to me. You were still on the crest of a wave, buzzing about the Champions League, and things were going swimming in the league. Because when you got to the end of December, you were what was it? I didn't hear. What was the points difference in the league?
So we were 14 ahead of Rangers.
Aye. So the league's done and dusted. You know what I mean? You go to the end of December, and it was basically full focus in the Champions League for me. It was like the rest of it kind of was immaterial, because you knew we wouldn't drop that many points, because Aberdeen were falling off a cliff. You knew we weren't going to drop that many points to, do you know what I mean? They hadn't felt, since we beat them at Pittodrie, then they started losing, wasn't it?
I think we beat them in the semi-final, and they come back and won their next game, and then they just started fucking dropping points.
So they were gone by that point. So
like I say, I mean, you think 2 months, I know it's 2 months, 2 months earlier we were neck and neck, and now they're 20 points behind. You know what I mean?
Aye, I know. So all in all, fucking what a first half of the season. Brilliant.
To go back to the Zagreb game, I've just stuck up the match report here, and what it's saying is we never really had many chances in the first half, apart from a Paulo Bernardo free kick. But it reminded me, just as I'm reading it, Kasper Michael made a pure dinger save late on in the game, which kind of goes back to your point, Jason, doesn't it? I mean, we've seen them a million times, but that was the first time that they hadn't beat a Scottish team. Every time a Scottish team came there, they'd beat them. So, I still think you win that, you take a bit of pressure off yourself. You probably don't get Bayern Munich down the line, but I'm not going to moan about it. I mean, Celtic getting an away draw, fuck me. I mean, all the people in the chat are all talking about fucking some of this stuff, and I think we're all certainly of our age, we're all mentally scarred with away games, aren't we?
Aye, exactly. As I say, my first 5 away European games, we never scored a goal. Not a goal. All I was dreaming about was a celebration in Europe. Do you know, it was like, now you see it in the telly when you're wee and that, you see that away end in Europe erupting, and you're like, and obviously when I was wee, you'd be looking at away end in Europe and it would be like 1,000 fans or something. Right. But apart from when you played Notts Forest or whatever, or the Old Trafford with the Rapid Vienna game, but your away games in Europe, in continental Europe, it was like, and then when I started going, that's when the massive away support started. You know, Cologne and stuff like that, you were taking like fucking 10,000 there. But you've got to these games that not a fucking goal, and you were just playing. You know, you spent all that dough. You'd been fucking days on a bus, now you're like, just give us a fucking goal. And I didn't go to the German Electric, man, where we fucking won. And like every one that I picked that I went to, I'd go to maybe 1 or 2 a season. Every one I picked, we get fucking thumped, never got a goal. I'm like, for fuck's sake, he's a goal, man. And then the first time we ever got a goal when I was going away in Europe was beating Ajax 3-1 in Amsterdam. That was the first time I'd seen Celtic. I'd seen his scoring in England.
Ekeren was 1 each, aye.
Aye, so I didn't go to that. But the first time I'd seen a score was in Amsterdam. We beat Ajax 3-1.
Beat Ajax 3-1, jeez, what one, aye.
Aye, that was the first time I'd ever seen a score in Europe. Aye.
Brilliant.
Aye.
Well, not so brilliant. But anybody else on December? Consider when we're walking into a Huns game start of January, fucking, and I was talking to taxi drivers in Belfast talking about 4 and 5 and 6.
Oh, it was chest out. It was chest out, Scott. fucking the tennies are out, tops off. Let's go.
Yeah.
We're going to Abrax with fucking. You know what? Not even
we're going to batter them,
not even going to wear boots or shin guards.
No,
and then once again, just like October, the fucking edge of the cliff.
I was supremely confident getting that match. I had no doubts we were going to horse him, and I was fucking sick at the end of it.
You're no kidding.
Fuck, the performance was appalling.
I remember Jerry coming on to me in the first half, and I said, Jerry, they have destroyed us. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's 1-0. What are you talking about? I was like, I hadn't seen Celtic get battered down for the Huns.
No, we were appalled.
I'm trying to think back. They destroyed us.
Would have been probably during Walter Smith's fucking time or something like that.
Destroyed us, man.
They were fucking appalling. And you don't mind getting paid by Huns because, you know what I mean? You're playing away away game. It does happen, but being pummeled like that and being so fucking gutless is just like fucking cunts. You know what I mean? Just be raging. So I have to hold my hand up. And like as Jason said there, we were sitting so pretty in December. We had such a fine first half of the year. There was nothing that would have suggested that match was in the offing. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, it was such a fucking shock. That when it happened later on in the season, which I'm sure we'll come to, it wasn't so much of a fucking shock because of it. But at that time, I was just absolutely, it was an abomination. An abortion of a game.
You did, I mean, it's one thing getting beat like that, just like you're talking about the Dortmund game where it kind of, your own naivety and maybe just things have worked for them. But see, on that day, as you said, Celtic were rotten, and it was almost a continuation of all the bad points for the cup final. Every bad point for the cup final was there.
It was almost like
the kind of thing was.
It was almost like the kind of levy kind of broke a wee bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the weaknesses that were shown in the cup final suddenly got kind of fucking worn down and strawed through.
Aye, that's fair, aye. Right, okay, let's get to it then. So January never really gave up as we had game after game after game. We started the year with a humping at Ibrox with a battered 3-0. The next game for both clubs was huge. And Celtic beat St Mirren 3-0 at Celtic Park. Kuhn, Austin Trusty getting his first, followed by another Kuhn strike, putting us back in step. However, Rangers had drawn 3-3 early in the day with Hibs. Another midweek comes along, Dundee United come to Glasgow. And a tough game ultimately saw the Hoops win 2-0. Dyson's first half goal matched by a late Rio goal get the win. Another trip up north next and a great 4-1 over County at Dingwall. Kyogo's goal was cancelled out in the second half, but another Kyogo goal and a penalty for Engels and a McCowan 98th minute goal was all we deserved. Dundee away next and we dropped points in the City of Discovery again. A 3-3 draw caused a bit of consternation with the Euro games in the horizon. McCowan had us looking comfortable, but despite an equaliser and then a Hugh Yang grabbing his first goal of the season, we ended up 3-2 down and looking at defeat until a late Engels penalty salvaged a point. We faced Kelly in the 4th round of the Scottish Cup. Not a great game. Nearly Calmac strike was equalised late in the first half, but Dyson stepped up again in the 70th minute to take us through. We then faced a European doubleheader. After wins had damaged Celtic Park and meant the cancellation of our fixture with Dundee on the 25th of January. First up was Swiss champs Young Boys of Bern. Billed as a must-win. We did that, but only with the help of a late own goal, not dissimilar to a previous meeting with them. Celtic were good in the night, but at 0-0, Kasper Schmeichel had to make 2 fantastic saves. But the points stayed at home and secured their place in the playoffs. An absolute great win. Then we had a massive match with Aston Villa. Missing some big players, Celtic a chance to make the knockouts. But Villa themselves needed to win to secure a prospective place. Going 2 down, 2 first half Adam Ida goals gave Celtic fans some much needed hope and much needed cheer. However, 2 well-deserved second half strikes saw us eventually motored over and Villa took the win. So by January end, with the League Cup in the bag, we were now in the 5th round of the Scottish Cup and we sat lone and proud at the top of the league, 11 points over Rangers and 13 over Aberdeen in 3rd. In the Champions League, we finished in 21st place from 36. Our 3 wins, 3 draws and 2 defeats had us finished with 12 points. 9 off of Liverpool on top, 4 off of Aston Villa and 8, 1 ahead of 25th in Dynamo Zagreb, and of course 12 ahead of Young Boys in last with 0, finishing between Juventus and Man City. So we had qualified for the playoffs round and been paired with Man City and would face either Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. The draw meaning we would host Bayern at Celtic Park in the middle of the month before returning to Munich a week later. Now, transfer-wise, a bit had happened in January. A good few saw the opportunity to leave the club on loan. As Stephen Welsh headed to Mechelen in Belgium, Josh Clark and Lenny Agbear joined Scott Brown's United. Odin Thiago Holmes signed with LAFC. Lewis Palmer joined up with eventual Greek champions Olympiacos. Adam Montgomery joined Queen's Park. Joe Morrison to Steny, whilst Aidan Rice and Marcus Gill had emerged to lose to Inverness. Alexandro Bernabe, who'd been on loan at Internacional of Brazil, impressed and was signed for a fee around 7 million. Aidan Haddo signed with Hearts for an undisclosed fee, whilst Josh Deddy joined Middlesbrough again for an undisclosed fee. Celtic picked up ex-English Premier League winner and former Leicester player Jeffrey Schlupp from Crystal Palace for loan till the end of the season. The German-born Ghanaian international could play at left back and left wing and would be quite an important player over the rest of the season. The big moves, however, was the sale of Kyogo Furuhashi and the re-signing of Jota from Stade Reims in France. Kyogo had been linked with moves away, and the rumour that Celtic were entertaining bids surfaced. On the 27th of January, the Japanese international left and signed a 2-year deal with Reims for around a fee of 10 million. In his 3.5-year spell at the club, Kyogo played 165 games, scoring 85 times. He won 3 leagues, 4 if you include this season, 2 Scottish Cups and 3 League Cups in his spell. He was a league top goal scorer in 22-23, whilst picking up the PFA Player of the Year and the SFWA Footballer of the Year for that same period. Signed from Vissel Kobe by Ange Postecoglou in 2021 for around 4.5 million. Who's that? He was an immediate hero with his likeable nature and his great desire and ends in the pitch. He scored his first goal in his first game against Jablonec in the Europa League qualifier. His 2 goals in the League Cup final over Hibs brought Ange's first trophy. He eventually liked to score against the Huns. It took him a season before he got going, but his late goal in a 2-2 draw at Ibrox, and then 2 in the 3-2 win later that season, and the League Cup final next month. The next year again, the winner at Ibrox, and then the second in a 2-1 win. A huge loss. Jota was identified as a prospective move after his spell with Al Ittihad had gone sour and his own Rennes experience hadn't really worked out. Celtic re-signed the Portuguese under-21 cap for a fee said to be around 8 or 9 million. So that is your January, men.
Sad to see Kyogo go, but hate
to see him suffer.
But do you know what I mean? It's like he did really well with us at a really high level for a couple of years, getting older. Do you know what I mean? He's injury prone now and that sort of thing. So, you take him back if you can get him back, but I don't, it's also a pity he left at that point in the season too. Would have been nice to see the season out and give him a.
But his head was turned, Marty. It was
Well,
clear. As clear his head was turned. No, am I wrong?
There's no doubt about it, but it was turned the wrong fucking way. It was turned backwards. You stupid cunt. I mean,
Well, that's where decisions and guidance come into the fucking picture. I mean, obviously he had none of that stuff on his side by the sounds of it.
no, and it's like if in hindsight, like if you look at 6 months back, the board made the right decision. If you're looking at it based on what became of him, do you know what I mean? It was like the player,
the boys he's a commodity at the end of the day. He's a commodity to a corporate fucking mindset. So
the fabled player trading model. Do you know what I mean? There's a fucking writ large. Do you know, and as I say, he's not going to get any younger. Fancied extra exposure in terms of his international future and those sorts of things. And God bless him, good luck to him. But we've been able to bank a couple, a good few pound for him. Well, I suppose we'll probably talk about the money situation when we go to the end of the season and when the Champions League money's finished and all that sort of stuff too. But best of luck to him. Had a lovely time. He'll always be fondly remembered here. And
have a lovely time.
You know what I mean?
He's not a fucking holiday.
He'd always be fucking sort of well got. He'd always be welcome back to the windfall.
I know, but it's one of them situations like see when your tires go bald, do you keep them? No, you don't.
Well, that's it.
You give them some work, hunt.
What is happening, man?
Aye. So my thoughts on the Kyogo stuff, right? Pissed after the match.
Hold your law.
But
just one of your answers, isn't it?
No. But at the end of the day, like, just the way it was, like, I thought Kyogo was a bit of an icon, right? And, like, I did think stupidly that he had a bond with us and whatever. But go back to the Young Boys game. I mean, that's the last time we ever see him in the hoops and don't even get a wave for him. And he probably knew he was off at the time. And the thing is, that night he was robbed because 2 goals disallowed, and he played his bloody heart out, to be fair. But you can't begrudge him. He was outstanding for us. What a signing. Just gave 100% every game and gave us some great moments. But just the way it all finished was a bit like...
It was damp. It wasn't like it was fucking damp.
But, as I say, take the positive out of negative, and I could not believe that we get Jota back.
See, that's what fucking kind of really, not even sweetened the pot, but made you go, do you know what? Fucking let's go. On you go, son. Jota's coming back.
And like,
I know. It's unbelievable.
It's obviously been a pity what's happened to Jota here too, but to have him back in the building at any fucking stage is a bonus.
Aye, totally. I couldn't believe that we got him back, because when he left us, he's one of the best players I've ever seen in the Celtic jersey. His form when he left us, just under. I was kind of pinching myself that he was playing with us, and we've got him back now, and obviously it's no worked out, and I think a lot of it's probably to do with him no playing for like a year and whatever. He's like, he started off obviously getting a goal at Motherwell, which was unbelievable, and he showed wee sparks at that, but I thought it would have took like a pre-season, but obviously the injury and that's fucking derailed everything. So just fingers crossed he comes back as the player he was. So, but at the time when we got him back, would have swapped Jota for Kyogo. Well, then the Kyogo doesn't want to play for Celtic, 100%. Anybody that doesn't want to play for Celtic, get them out the door. And that's
sometimes too, Jason, the obviously the January window can be a bollock sometimes, but the amount of players who went out was some horse night session. Do you know what I mean? That's right. I mean, there's a lot of fucking money saved.
And by the way, see the Bernabé deal, that's 7 million. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, somebody want to explain that to me.
Greece got a lot of money to burn.
I'm hearing these like we moves to the La Liga. on the back of him being fucking dynamite. Wild, man.
Well,
you just never know at the end of the day. You just never
was
know.
it last year or the year?
Here, Ollie Burke's still kicking about for fuck's sake, making a fortune.
Was it last year or the year before he played in the preseason game, set up and scored that goal? He ran from the halfway line. Like the guy had ability. You could fucking see he had ability.
Oh no,
Scored a smashing goal against Atletico Madrid.
I did like him, you know, but obviously I like everyone that wears the hoops. I'm just the worst guy in the world to talk. But you did see but 7 million, fucking hell. But I suppose
somebody's got some money to launder. Somebody's got some money to launder.
But I always kind of think, see the South American game. The South American game is totally different for ours. It's like a different sport. See when you watch the games, you know they're on it late at night.
We were trying to make him a fullback. Do you know what I mean? It was clear he was more of an attacking midfielder or like a wing back sort of a thing.
He had ability, wasn't he? He wasn't going to get the crunch and tackle and do the wing like fucking Kieran Tierney.
He was a guy that did his best work in the last third, but then again, he was being expected to come back over the halfway line and do some work, and he wasn't able to do that.
I disagree to an extent, lads. I think it wasn't so much the Kieran Tierney thing, it was a Greg Taylor thing. Because Greg Taylor had come in, we spoke about this before, I think Sloop almost fell foul of this as well, that Greg Taylor came in and played a certain way that if you're not coming in, I watched Sloop try to bring into the middle of the pitch and he just looks so uncomfortable. I don't know, and I don't think it's a Kieran Tierney problem. I think it was more a Greg Taylor replacing Greg Taylor and what he was giving to the team. That's what I could be wrong. I could be on my assertion there, but I don't know. I just think Greg Taylor's how he changed our fullback position is almost bounced on down the line. So it'll be really interesting to see what we do when Kieran Tierney comes back. Because Kieran Tierney, I dare say Kieran Tierney could actually play left back for us at times. Left centre back, should I say?
Yeah,
just a thought.
Right. February.
Right. So, February had calmed down somewhat with only the 8 games this month. 2 league wins kicked off a month. A 3-1 away win over Murrow, goals from Dyson, Ida, and then Jota's first goal in his first game back to complete the perfect win. That day also saw Captain Callum McGregor turn out in his 500th game for the club. Next up was a 6-0 humping of Dundee, the rearranged fixture from January, on a Wednesday night. Engels and Ida first half goals, and then 2 Dyson goals, another Engels strike, and a Kuhn goal completed the rout. Raith Rovers were next in the Scottish Cup, a 5-0 win. Dyson with another hat-trick, Luke McCowan and Yang with 1 each. Bayern Munich arrived in town. A decent first half performance and a VAR shocked half goal was undone by a late first half Olise goal. An early Harry Kane second half header seemed to make this look like an easy night for the Germans. But Dyson's header late in the game and some decent half chances for Celtic had us having a wee bit of hope. Dundee United were pushed aside at Celtic Park. Kalmak's 7th goal of the season, Jota grabbing another, and Ida scoring his 8th goal of the season, setting up a trip to Munich. Most wouldn't have given us a chance, but Celtic were amazing. And the second half couldn't go, was all we deserved. As we tired, Munich presses back, and sure enough, heartbreak as Munich scored in the 94th minute to equalise and dump us out of the tournament. Hibs took somewhat of an advantage and started their own renaissance with a controversial 2-1 win at Easter Road. 2 up at half-time, Dyson scored again in the second half, but with an equaliser ruled out by VAR as the decision was debatable at best, as Johnson was deemed to be out of play. The month closed with a midweek battering of Aberdeen, 4-1 at Celtic Park. Dyson, of course, grabbed 2 before Jota, Kalmak and another Yang goal got the rest. So the Champions League was over again for the season. In the league where we sat top, 13 points ahead of Rangers, 31 ahead of Aberdeen, who were now clinging on to third. Once again, a former Celtic player sadly passed away. On the 21st of February, Evan Williams, aged 81. Born in Dumbarton, Samuel Evan Williams signed for Celtic on the 14th of October 1969 from Wolverhampton Wanderers for a moderate fee, making his debut with a clean sheet on the 1st of December 1969 in a 2-0 win over St Mirren, and he was actually said to have been Celtic's best player in that 2-1 defeat to Feyenoord in the 1970 European Cup final. Overall, he played 148 matches for Celtic. So that again? Hello?
What? Go ahead. We're listening to you.
Marty farted.
No, he didn't.
He played 148 matches for 148 matches for Celtic between 1969 and 1974 with a 40% shutout rate of 59 games. He won 4 Scottish Leagues, 2 League Cups with the club, and of course played in that European Cup final in 70. He would leave Celtic for Clyde and then Stranraer before managing a few junior teams. And that is February, men.
There's kind of only one thing in there, really, that fucking breaks your heart.
Only one thing. Fuck's sake. There's about 40 things there.
Well, breaks your heart. Breaks your heart, as I'm saying. Like,
oh, aye. But well, you go back to the home leg against Bayern Munich. I mean, when we go 2-0 down, you're just like, fucking, just. You knew this was happening, and then, but I thought Celtic played well. I didn't think it was a good game to be at, and it was like we were competing, and then when Dyson got the goal, you're just like, see if you could have gotten with chances, to tie it up, and obviously you think to yourself, you don't go out in Munich with a lead, you're fucked. But we competed with them.
But see that game though, like that opening goal from Bayern came out of fucking space. In fairness, like I mean, it was an astonishing strike. I mean, it was fucking.
I know, but it was like I thought we competed at the start really well.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I mean. Like we kind of matched them to a degree, but then that fucking just right before fucking half time, that like a smashing goal. I mean, and a chance that you wouldn't really see being a massive threat, but with a team like that, players like that.
But at least the irony is the 2 guys that scored against us that night were their 2 outstanding players of the season.
Yeah.
2 of them. I mean, Elise's been fucking dynamite, and Harry Kane is just scoring goal. And the frustrating thing when you hear Harry Kane, it says they're no marking me at corners, and then like put it to the back post, and it was the easiest header again. And like I say, Harry Kane scored like 8 billion goals, and we're no marking him at a corner. Frustrating, man. But you remember the penalty decision in that game? I still to this day think that's a scandal, man.
I do. I agree.
I know.
And I mean the second.
I just think.
Crack on.
So what I was going to say, Scott, seeing the Champions League, I just find, seeing Europe altogether, I just find refereeing, maybe we've just become institutionalised with decisions that watching Scottish football all the time. But I think seeing you play in Europe, very little gets given. It's like they don't give much at all. It's like VAR will rule out goals for offside, but they'll very rarely get involved in anything else. It's like, it's weird. I don't know, it's like, there's things you're like, that's fucking VAR's got to look at that, and it doesn't. It just
but aren't there certain things in VAR whereby if the referee blows a whistle, then VAR can't look at it, which also seems very fucking suspect, to be honest with you.
Aye, totally. If the ref that's the full thing about VAR. The referee's no go to blow his whistle, let the play continue, and then you can review it. But as soon as the referee blows his whistle, the game stops.
So at that point, there's no looking back?
No, as soon as the referee blows his whistle, the game's finished. So
no, I mean during the game, like say if a foul has happened, referee blows his whistle for the foul.
VAR can look at that. If it blows it
I
after
know,
the foul's took place.
but there appears to be moments in the game or certain fouls or certain situations whereby that doesn't apply, or he doesn't apply it, or they don't apply it. There's definitely some kind of fucking grey area there that I don't really understand, because at times you're going like, well, that's not a foul, that's not a yellow card, but none of that gets looked at. Who decides what gets looked at? That's my thing.
I just think European referees let a lot more go. They don't. Like,
well, I think they appear to rely on VAR a lot less. I think they apply VAR to more of the more of the big decisions.
It's the cut and dry thing. It's offside. It's basically offside.
Everything else is down to them.
The referee's decision. Loads of time. You see how, like, you watch the English Premiership, you watch Scottish games and that. Like, the referee will let the game go and there's no been a penalty, and it's like fucking 10 minutes later they're fucking pulling you back for VAR. That's a penalty. And it's like, but in Europe that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen, and it's like, I know. So anyway, we get beat 2-1 and you think to yourself, you're virtually out.
Yeah.
You're second.
Remember I appeared on BBC Radio. Basically saying we were going to run.
You appeared on the enemy.
I thought you were excellent.
You were very good. You were in the
6 in the morning, was it, Scott, or something?
6 in the morning, mate.
And it sounded like it was 6 in the morning.
It sounded like 6 in the morning.
No. I thought you spoke really well. It was time. But obviously then we can discuss that. How proud were you Celtic that night?
Oh, fucking massive. Brilliant. Absolutely great.
But if you think back to the game, boys, see the first half, we battered them. We battered them and we missed sitters. And the old second half, they would just come out and batter us. And see when we went 1-0 up, man, you were like, what a team we are.
Unbelievable.
It was feet off the ground moments. It wasn't like, fucking yes, here we fucking go. The seal has been cracked. We are on our fucking way. And it felt like that up until
Scott
the
said,
fucking curtain closed.
What's your key learnings, right? So Scott was saying that we come up against just an absolutely bombastic, excellent side who live at that level. We didn't have the strikers of the high. As Scott says, we're missing chance after chance that we should have been putting away. But we didn't have that level of player high enough to do it. And our bench was unbelievably weaker. So look, it was a wonderful effort, like genuinely, and you just hope. Like, I know, again, to go back to what I've been saying all year, and as Jason said earlier on, the first half of this year was unbelievable. That quarter of the fucking year wasn't too bad either. But there was obviously a dip later on. So look, we did so well to keep that momentum going with a squad that suffered very few injuries. So, for example, if you go back and compare them to Postecoglou's teams who were fucking constantly injured, we didn't have that until later on when the likes of Jota and people get injured. Mm-hmm. It was an incredible effort. I still say it's one of the best years I've had in terms of Europe. The Atalanta game was fabulous. Getting the draw again at Zagreb was like a fucking disaster. Like, people were going, what the fuck?
Yeah, hindsight, innit, man?
And it was a fantastic result because we ended up getting through at the end, So I think there's nearly almost a podcast to be done on its own on that European journey, because it was definitely a case of ups and downs. But I still say there was far more fucking ups than there was down. We've banked almost 50 million quid. It's put us in a fucking brilliant position here, looking into the season to come. And like, even players like Adamita, who've been fucking slaughtered all year, scoring goals away from home.
And seeing that he came off the bench against Bayern Munich, and he was instrumental in us getting the goal because he's work rate and stuff like that. Things like that do get missed out by Adamita by people who just want to criticise him. Now, I'm not saying that makes him perfect. No, he's got lots to do. But see the least you expect after your football team is everybody busting their hole.
It's the Joe Ledley effect. That's what I call it. The Joe Ledley effect. It does way more than you think you see.
Yeah, I just think the whole thing. I just think the whole campaign as a whole was fabulous. Like, well, look at the fucking stinking European campaigns we've had in the Europa League, and fuck how many years like under Lennon and stuff we're getting through one year, fucking because some cunt lost a game of Monopoly and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Rory
Braga and
Dyer years,
aye, but
Sion and then Legia Warsaw.
aye, but do you remember fucking two them Polish cunts but let football win and all? We get in on a humble because somebody
I said
fucking
Legia Warsaw.
because was that Warsaw? Sorry, we were getting through because fucking people didn't register their players properly. This year we actually stood up with the best in Europe. Borussia Dortmund aside, but that was obviously seen to be an aberration. And I just think we're lots to be proud of. As I say, financially, it's put us in such a good spot. Like it really has. And in a game of you probably mentioned it come to the end of the season. Once again, we've left ourselves in a pretty decent position. Come August, could have been worse.
I know, but let's be
You
honest.
know,
It was a fucking big kicking.
and
Fucking
it's a start. It's a start.
stones,
It's a
man.
start. It's a start to it repairing the coefficient as well. Our coefficient's abysmal. You know what I mean? Or was abysmal. So it's coming back up again. And all that. I just think it was really good. I don't think that anybody should be too down on the European thing this year at all.
No.
I think we did well.
No,
Right.
without a doubt, it's like, and like for the Dortmund game, if you could have said where we would have went to in Europe after the Dortmund game, folk would have thought you needed a loony bin.
Aye.
But it turned out, and it's like just so much of fucking kicking the balls at the end. You're just like fucking how did that?
It's so
Just
it's such a Celtic thing to happen, Jason.
And see, that's the worst. That's almost the worst part of it. Going like, you know what? Oh well, it was kind of the well. It was like
But
it was such
see,
a fucking sickener.
Marty, I kind of disagree with that because see when you think about it, that hasn't really happened to us that much. See like that fucking last minute like devastation. We're a team that normally gets a last minute fucking eruption. Like we're a kind of team that's over the years done that more to others than it's been done to us.
It definitely has
Not at that level, though, Jay. I don't think.
Definitely.
Juventus fucking cheated us. Fucking Porto fucking cheated us.
Leon and all, but then
loads of Bayern Munich as well before as well.
But they won the last, Joe. No,
that's true. That's true.
I mean, see for the way it happened, I just did not see it coming. Don't get me wrong, cards on the table, they would have probably beat us in extra time.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not denying the fact, right? But we might have got lucky. You never know. But it's just the way it happened, I didn't see it coming. I'm sitting in the house shiting myself. Me and Ellie just like I was getting off my nut. And but I was actually quite calm seeing the last 10 minutes. In my head, I'm going, we're going to get this to extra time. We're like, don't get me wrong, they were kind of pounding us a wee bit near the end. But we were standing tall and defending well. And I just didn't see it coming. And see when it did, fucking dagger to the heart. You're just like,
but I mean, if you look back at that actual goal, you're an inch away from CCV's Big Cam's fucking foot hitting the ball and putting it away.
I know. The way the goal went in, I know.
I've been an inch away. Maybe not even an inch away from a fucking deflection that goes
off. Unbelievable. The way it happened. See if they'd scored a world playing that, you're like, fair enough, class team, But just the way it happened, everything about it just
was a bumbler.
Oh, I was crestfallen. I was totally fucking devastated. But I was also very proud of them because the way they played, and to be fair, hats off to Brendan Rodgers. The way he transformed that team in Europe after the Borussia Dortmund game to what we ended up with, outstanding. So
if you go and look at it, right, so you've went and you've battered Bratislava, right? Now, the standard of Bratislava, I done my review of them. I I was quite confident we should be beating them. But in Europe, that doesn't mean nothing for Celtic. As you've succinctly put, the Borussia Dortmund game, it shouldn't have been that bad, blah, blah, blah. We've done that, right? So then we went to Atalanta. We're all fearing the worst. And we've played a good European game. We've played a sensible, grown-up. We've done well. And then we played RB Leipzig, and we went a goal down, but we stayed calm. We played our football, and we were far better than them on the night. And 3-1 was as little as we deserved on the night. And then what was after that? That was Dynamo Zagreb. Dynamo Zagreb could have won it, could have lost it. In past times, we probably would have lost it because they put pressure on us late, but we stood up firm. Young Boys game, I thought Young Boys game we were really, really good in the night, but then we just never put the ball in the net.
They were a lot better than I thought they'd have been, to be fair.
Kyogo's had a ball here twice. Kyogo's fucking...
On a missed penalty as well.
You score, that game's done. And then, I never even mentioned it because I mentioned the end, but Maeda gets sent off that game. Do you know what I mean? You forget about that. Which kind of, and then the Villa game was just a bad circumstance. CCV was missing, Maeda was missing, Kyogo was already away, Jota wasn't ready, and they were going for something, and we qualified. So we kind of went, Dane Murray coming on, for example, and all that. You know what I mean? We kind of went, doesn't really fucking matter. We've hit our target. But it's the fact that every game, Borussia Dortmund aside, was done like a proper football team. It wasn't the typical Celtic way. And then the Bayern Munich games took us all by surprise because we went and competed. That's all we ever want. We want us to compete. And the thing is, the next step for us is to do it again. It really is. That's the next step, because however great this feels, it does get down the toilet if we go out and stink the place up. We'll revert back to old Celtic. But no, I think we can be very proud of what we've done this year. I mean, the Huns are playing at a lower level and kind of jamming into us, and I laugh in their faces. Fuck them. You know what I mean? Right, March. So things.
Where to?
What?
Where to?
Thanks, thanks for the league title come into view. A 2-0 home win over Hibs at Celtic Park sounds a wee bit more straightforward than it was. A Dyson goal and then a late Ida goal to wrap up the points. The Huns were next, and bad play and a bit of fortune going against us saw us drop 3-2 at Celtic Park. Dyson and Rail got us back in the game after a 2-0 first half deficit, but a late Ngami strike stole the points on the day. And another international break that followed, Kasper Schmeichel would injure his shoulder, and that I had expected him to miss the rest of the season and even into the summer. Viliame Simonzalo would play the next 7 games for us. Hearts was our final game of the month, a comfortable 3-0 win at Celtic Park. Dyson, again, of course, with 2, and Jota with his 4th goal since returning. So we can see the title now. We sat on top of Rangers by 13 points. Aberdeen, who now fell behind Hibs, and Hibs were 31 points behind us, but we're also in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. March, Huns game. That's what you're talking about, isn't it?
Aye.
So, man.
Do you know what it was? See, the last 10 minutes, I was fucking certain.
Certain, mate.
Certain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Certain. And then
They
we
stuck
lost.
the mortgage on us beating them.
And we got beat, and then I went to Campus Lang, and some wee fucking 9-year-old destroyed me at go-kart. I was fucking, this day couldn't get any worse.
Right, swiftly moving on.
Aye. We're no labour on that. I think we've kind of moaned about that enough. Right, April, Marty, have you any had about March?
Fuck all, move on.
Nah, good man. Right, April. Rangers had maybe surprisingly for some when doing 2-0 at home to Aberdeen on the 5th of April meant that Celtic could win the title against Kilmarnock before the split should we beat St Johnstone in our next game. In our worst display of the season, Celtic were beaten 1-0.
Oh.
We went to Celtic Park the next week in the sun and put on a show. A 5-1 win over Kelly with goal from Dyson CCV, a real double, and an Anthony Ralston cherry on top for the goal. So now as it stands, Celtic could win the league at Dundee United. Next, however, was St Johnstone at Hampden. Revenge was on our mind and we got it. Another 5 goals. Kalmack started the rout, and of course Dyson would grab a couple. Adamida and Jota scored the other 2. So the last game of the month was for the title and the first game of the split. Celtic turned up and battered another 5 into United. An own goal for Ryan Strain started the party after a few tennis balls come on the pitch. Oranges, sorry, should I say tennis balls? And an own goal from Ryan Strain.
Tangerines, in fact.
Tangerines, they were, I know. Before Kuhn, who'd been quiet since Munich, scored 2. Adamida grabbed his own double as Celtic clinched the championship for the 4th year in a row. That day meant it was James Forrest had won his 26th honour of his career with Celtic, whilst it was Callum McGregor's 24th. So that was it for April. We were now 17 points ahead of Rangers, 21 points ahead of Hibs. We were in the Scottish Cup final. However, the injury to Jota at Dundee United turned out to be a massive blow and would keep him out to potentially 2026. So the league title, boys. Job done.
There we go. Hail the champions.
Yeah, absolutely. Stand up.
The Jota thing.
Never.
See that day, the Jota thing never even marked it. Well, I remember just on, because you would win half, and then like at the end of the game, he's in crutches. What's happening here? It's something bad happened.
But the thing
is, it seemed totally innocuous.
It totally was. Like, it was just as if it was, he just looked as if he tripped or something. Like, there's no way you'd ever have thought that was as serious as it was.
Slipped on a tangerine.
Do you think maybe see him coming back on with the crutches and stuff? Do you think that might have aggravated it and made it worse?
I doubt it. Like, the damage is probably done when he fell. Like, but it's just, it was just fucking, it was just gutting. Like, you know what I mean? You're fuck's sake.
I'm not a doctor. I just Google it. So,
but getting back to the what a downer the St Johnstone game was.
You're no kidding, man.
Another
see,
one.
See,
watched
when you're
Manchester.
See when you're beating Kilmarnock 5-1 in this beautiful sunshine, Celtic Park, and it looks brilliant on it, and everybody's sitting there going, "We should be getting a league today." We should be getting.
I know.
This is pure scheduling on my part. I don't believe. I mean, it's fucking one of them ones. You're like, but then again, you get that stage. I suppose expectation creeps in, and yeah, that must play a part on the players.
Right, last one. So May, the derby at Ibrox was next, but before that, the club announced a new multi-year deal with kit maker Adidas that was said to extend beyond the next 5 years. So the rumour goes it's another 10-year deal, and a record amount for Celtic and any Scottish club for a kit supplier. Alas, the game was a 1-1 draw, going down 1-0 at half-time after missing a good chance early in the game. Ida grabbed another goal to secure a point. Maeda missed a great chance late in the game to possibly win it. We then marched past Hibs at Celtic Park with Kasper Schmeichel somewhat surprisingly replacing Sinisalo in nets. Kuhn, Ida Hatate with all the goals. Aberdeen away again on a Wednesday night and a bit more comfortable. And what could be described as a Celtic second string, Celtic comfortably disposed of the Reds. Mike Nairovsky scoring a great header before Yang grabbed another just before the break. McCowan made things comfortable before Johnny Kenny grabbed his first goal for the club, and Adamida completed the scoring on the day. A late, unnecessary injury to Rio Hatate put a wee bit of a dampener on the day. Trophy day saw St Mirren back at Celtic Park for the champions and looked to have ruined it as a 51st minute goal combined with Celtic looking ineffectual for the most, spoiling the party. But James Forrest chasing that goal to ensure he'd scored in all 16 of his Celtic seasons the first player since Paul McStay scored in the 94th minute to start the celebration. So all that was left was to wrap up another treble. Huge favourites against an Aberdeen who'd struggled for form since their early season adventures. 2 own goals summed up a hugely disappointing final performance and results-wise. Celtic maybe should have won it late on in normal time, but a Callum McGregor miss and then an Alistair Johnson, his own miss, meant Aberdeen won 4-3 in penalties and took the cup home. On the 14th of May this year, at the age of 92, former chairman John Jack McGinn passed away. First being appointed to the club in 1965, he was to establish and run the Celtic View as he'd held a background in publishing and was the View's first editor. In 1981, he was given the role of commercial manager and a place on the board. After Desmond White died in 1985, he was appointed vice chairman, and with Tom Devlin's own passing a year after, he got the chairman role itself. Sounds like he was just killing folk. He resigned from the role on the 17th of October 1991, but retained a non-exec director role at the club. After Ferguson McCann took takeover, he kept this position but was asked to stand down and was bestowed a legislative advisor role. After his Celtic period, he'd been made the treasurer of the SFA and ultimately became SFA vice chairman and president, resigning the role just prior to his 70th birthday. Jack McGinn's standing and legacy at Celtic is really up for debate, but his time cannot be dismissed, and despite his links to the Kelly's board, he was undoubted a Celtic man. So the season finished, the table saw Celtic sat top again. 38 games played, 29 wins, 5 draws, 4 defeats. 112 goals scored, 26 goals conceded, 86 goal difference, 92 points. We had 17 points ahead of Rangers in second and 47 goal difference better than Rangers. And we finished 34 points ahead of Hibs in third. We finished with a win rate of 76.32%. We lost our first domestic game of the season on the 2nd of January 2025 in that defeat at Ibrox. So we went 22 games undefeated, 19 wins and 3 draws, including that League Cup final. Our league title was, of course, our 55th title. We also, of course, picked up the League Cup, our 22nd title, and it was our 37th appearance in the final. We had a 75% win rate from all games. We, of course, made the Scottish Cup final, and whilst we watched Aberdeen win the Cup for the 8th time, it was our 63rd appearance in the final. Rio Hatate, who unfortunately missed the last 2 games of the season, was involved in 55 games this season, the most of the squad, with captain Cal Mack just behind on 54. However, as expected, Cal Mack had played the most minutes of the season, 4,644, just ahead of Kasper Schmeichel. Our top goal scorer was, of course, the amazing Daisen Maeda with 33 goals. Next up was Nicholas Kuhn with 21 from the same 51 appearances. Adam Ida had 20, Kyogo 12, Hatate 11, Cal Mack 10, and Arnie Engels in 10, all finished with double figures. Nicholas Kuhn was also our top assist maker of the season with 15, ahead of Engels and Johnson with 13 each. It's interesting to note that from his 21 goals and 15 assists, 14 of the goals and 11 of the assists happened last year. So a definite drop off for Kuhn. We had 1 red card all season. Daisen Maeda taking this as well. His red card against Young Boys affecting us as he missed that Aston Villa game. Daisen again was the only player to hit a hat-trick, and he done it twice. Against Aberdeen in the League Cup semi-final and against Raith Rovers in the Scottish Cup. Kasper Schmeichel had 49 appearances and completed 24 clean sheets, while Sinisalo from his 8 games had 4 clean sheets. Our attendance was overall 1,572,614, and that's an average attendance of 56,200. Our highest attendance was 59,612 versus Rangers in September, and the lowest being that Scottish Cup tie versus Raith Rovers, 39,207. Daisen Maeda picked up the PFA Players Player of the Year and also the SFWA Footballer of the Year. Brendan Rodgers won the SFWA Manager of the Year. Our own Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year was, of course, Daisen Maeda, who also picked up the top goal scorer award. Arnie Engels got the Young Player of the Year award. The men's goal this season was given to Cameron Carter-Vickers for his stunning goal against Kilmarnock in the 5-1 win, and James Forrest was awarded the Special Recognition Award. And gents, I am fucking done.
Yeah.
Well done, Scott. That was outstanding.
Fantastic.
Outstanding as usual.
Just going back on some of the stats at the end there. The amount of people who came in through the door, unbelievable. The goal difference, unbelievable. The amount of time some of the players spent on the pitch, unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? So while the end of the season maybe didn't go the way we all wanted, obviously, but fucking hell, there was much to celebrate, you know, much to reflect on. Some of the players this year we might not see again. Some of them might be starting to be rotated out of the squad, you know, so I mean, not losing a match, domestic game until January, really, you know, a good season. Like when you look back, a good season and a brilliant effort from our fans the whole year long. We had no winter break, all sorts of games all over the fucking place at all times and places in the extended European campaign. You know, and it's just a pity we fell at the final hurdle on the last day. It was disappointing, but I think we've loads to be chewing on there. Well done,
After
mate, for pulling it all
going
together.
through that, Scott, my mood has been elevated after going through that.
Definitely, Joe. I agree. Yeah.
I totally agree.
It's so much better to look back on it, man, when you detail it out, to go like, you know what, that was fucking brilliant. All those points were fucking brilliant. All those high points were way better than any of the low points, and there were so many of them.
Do you know? I think it's mad that our form was much better when we were playing hundreds of games than it was when we were getting.
When you're playing 2 games a week, you know, we were outstanding. And the thing is, Marty made the point as well. We were very lucky with injuries.
Yeah,
you know, we were blessed at the start, and then seeing we start to get a few injuries to key players kind of towards the end of the season, it kind of showed up a bit that. You look at the Villa away game, albeit we'd already qualified, right? But if we'd went there with a full strength team, it could have made a big difference to our potential progress. But I mean, you can't take end away for anything the players done, and they kind of. I mean, we've touched the cup final. It's a fucking sickener, right? But we didn't deserve to lose that. But fair play to Aberdeen, they defended well, and the fucking game plan worked. And end of the day, they got out and they got lucky because we weren't in top form, blah blah. So it's been done to death, but shit happens. But do you know what I was thinking about as well, Scott? I don't know about you, right? And this isn't like a diss to Marty and Joe, right? But kind of see when you go to every game, right? You go home and away, you go away in Europe, you go to every game, right? And you're kind of you're blessed with success, right, on the domestic scene, right? Do you know, I think, see when it gets to the cup final, right, I wasn't that sick after it. It was like, it's a long fucking season, and it's a long season for the players, but see as fans that go to every single game, see at the end of it, and this is all be it, we've had success. If we'd won fuck all and you beat the cup final, you're fucking devastated walking out there. But when you walk out and you've already got 2 trophies in the bag and you've had a relatively successful season in Europe, you're walking out like, do you know what? It's a long season, man. Fucking thank fuck that's done, man. Get a wee break for it now. And it's like, you kind of do the hard yards. I don't know if you think that, Scott, but I kind of, the more I think back, I'm glad there's a close season and I'm not going to games now. I know folk are saying get the fitness, but I'm into baseball, right? So I take into that now. But
bit of a respite, isn't it? Bit of a respite.
Aye, and for the reason, and obviously Aberdeen are a big club, and you're like fucking when they invade at the park when they go to equalise and all, you're like, fair fucks these, enjoy yourself. Do you know, there was no fucking animosity for my sort of. You're obviously devastated Celtic didn't win it, but do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like.
There's a party that kind of thinks, you know what, at least we didn't lose it to the Huns. Right?
Well, that as well. Well,
I think that's for me anyway, that was the big thing, right? I like to think we're all level-headed, probably our age, and you just your experience and stuff. But winning everything isn't normal. It really isn't normal, and our experiences allow us to know it's not normal. Throw in the fact that we still regard Aberdeen as a huge club. We still do. I mean, I spoke about it last week, and I heard JP talking on Axon today about it. But we were talking about the Aberdeen guy saying he was saying that Celtic fans will never appreciate that. And I thought that was because that was them winning a trophy. And I found it pretty sad because Aberdeen shouldn't be only winning one trophy every 10 years. They should be better than that. And I don't know, I agree with everything you're saying. There was a point coming through November all the way through January that we were playing games constantly. And it was hard. It's hard on your wallet. It's hard on your family life. It's hard on everything you do that you've got to leave work early, or you've kind of, I mean, I run away for the team as well, Joe. So you've kind of got all these. So see, you get to a point and you're fucking like, this is hard work.
You're on the move. You're always active. Like used to specifically, you're always active for tickets. You're always active for transport. You're always active for who's going, what's happening.
Yeah, you're definitely kind of looking for that downtime. Do you know what I mean?
And see, like every home game at Celtic Park, I've got fucking Evertonians at every single game that I need to sort out with tickets. And fuck knows how Marty Gilmore and that there, because it's honest to God, it's a fucking labour of love that's a thankless task.
Oh, 100%.
And see these people, and I'm not blowing me in trumpet, but I obviously do it as well. You know, I don't get into the game sometimes yawn time, and it's because you're standing out waiting on folk to give them tickets. But at the end of the day, the favours get it. And obviously, I've wheatled that down now because you can't give every day. I've actually knocked loads back this season just because you're saying to yourself, they're never ever going to give me one back in any way, shape, or form for anything. And I don't even know them. I'm just doing some guy that's not going to do me a favour. And I'm like, nah, I'm just not doing it. But sorry, Scott, on you go.
No. I'm actually just going to take it a wee bit tangent off what you're saying. And P. McLaughlin on the chats made a couple of things, and I think it's a great point. I think we spoke about it recently when Andy was on, and Andy was talking gibberish. But a lot of the players we've signed have never played all these games in a row. Like Kieran Tierney and Cal McGregor have been doing since they've been waiting for Celtic, just playing hundreds and hundreds of games every week, just always playing, always expected to win. And these guys are coming into Celtic. It's often been said that a mentality of somebody who succeeds at Celtic is almost up there with their talent, because they've got to get into this rhythm that we've got to win. There is nothing else. Doesn't matter who you're playing. There's a big bundle of people out there who are expecting you to go out and win, and it takes a mentality. And I'll tell you what was interesting to know. I meant to bring it up before, but so P. McLaughlin was going to hear the Champions League expansion coupled with no winter break really did show up squad depth in February, March onwards, right? And that's a fair point. And did you know that you all know how the Belgian league works with regards to playoffs?
Club. Right? I listened to your Club Bruges thing. They
exactly.
So the season but still win the league.
Yeah. So to put it in context, they've got a certain amount of teams in the league, and basically they split the same as us. Then half the points, and then they play for the league in the playoff, and everybody's enjoyed it. They all think it's a winner. They're getting rid of it this year because the amount of games with the introduction of the Champions League games and the European games. So they've changed their league structure so it's not as demanding alongside the European games. And all we've done is took away a break that we felt we needed. So it's kind of mad that we're at, I mean, it's obscene the amount of games we play in a November, December, January, it's bloody obscene. It really is for the players. And I'm not really wanting to kind of, for a Celtic team to be moaning about it.
But it's for the armchair spectator, isn't that those Scott? Everybody's sitting indoors watching football on TV.
I don't even want to get into that argument because I don't care about that, right? That's very pertinent point. But I'm more talking about us looking at our season and looking at our second half fall off. Right? Forget why it's done. We definitely had
overextending, clearly.
Go and look at Nicholas Kuhn's stats in the first half of the season to the second half, and go and look at how many games he plays generally in a season in his career. And I don't think he's ever played as many games as this. Ever. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And there could be an element of his body kind of saying,
right, I can't do this.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just saying it could be.
No, but it's something I've never actually thought of, in fairness.
So, Joe, the bottom line is the way Scottish football is set up, because the teams in the SPFL demand that Celtic and the Rangers play in their stadium twice a season, but obviously some of them, if they don't get to the top half, that's how they'll never put it to like a 16-team league.
Play
each other twice a season, which would totally suit us. It'd be perfect for us, but they won't dare, because they said back in the 70s then there was dead rubber games, because some teams were useless at the bottom, and that fucking dead rubber games. They've been dead rubber games for the last fucking 30 years. And it's like it's down to self-preservation with these clubs 100%. That they want the big support. And then the ones that actually in the top half of it, like your Hearts and Aberdeen, they're not even getting the big support move, because they give us fucking $5 for our tickets. But it's the ones at the bottom end that'll give us half their stadium, but they still want it.
Yeah.
So totally, Scottish football is totally anti-Scottish teams succeeding in Europe.
Yeah. Because we should be affording teams. Like, if you want to kind of see if you've got a big game coming up and you want to kind of bin it, I think of course we should be looking after teams. I mean, obviously apart from the Huns, but so Billy's asked a question here. He says, "What's your thoughts on the new Champions League format? In my opinion, it's better than the previous format."
Love it.
I'm holding my water on this one.
I think it's an entire injection of like difference, which I think it always needed for a long time.
I think it's been brilliant. Lads, I have to go. I'll speak to you all later. God bless you.
Mary, you sent me your answers, didn't you?
I did.
Right, they're in the chat.
Right, cool.
Okay, chaps. All right.
Mary, I'll speak to you soon, bro.
But the thing that, Joe, while I loved it, but I'm with Scott, because it's a precursor to a European league probably, and it's just going to grow and grow, and the likelihood is we'll not be invited into it. It's like
I don't know if I believe that, right? Because I think what this is, I think along the same lines as you is going. This is a kind of essentially a litmus test for what can be, right? And while we might not have the financial fortitude to kind of be in that kind of company, I think we have the kind of gravitas as a club to at least be in the mix.
Joe, don't kid yourself. Fucking the 5 leagues, and they put the French league in it just because of PSG, right? But the four leagues basically, and that's all they give a fuck about.
I know,
they
but
don't care about us.
Do you not think we'll get a charity card? No.
Nah, nonsense. It's like
I don't know. It's a hope it'll kill me, Jay. It's a hope it'll kill me.
We're hanging on to their coattails, and that's it.
Aye, no, I'm worried about it because, I mean, see how great it was this year and it offered us a decent chance to progress. It could easily put us right in the stones. It never really stopped the, like, I mean, fucking PSG, Man City finished under us. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I would hate to think though, Scott, that we're just kind of out there hoovering up coins in the gutter. You know what I mean? While it's still lasting. I mean, that kind of bothers me. I thought, like, I mean, we competed. We just spoke about for a minute ago about fucking how we competed.
Okay, see, at the end of the day, regardless of the format, if we play well and if we keep Brendan Rodgers, and that's obviously another discussion whether he'll sign an extension or whatever. If we keep him and we keep going the trajectory that we did this year, then fucking anything's possible. You know?
See, this is a thing for us, isn't it, lads, though, that see under Ange, we kind of got a wee bit of plaudits. We gave ourselves a fair bit of plaudit, do you know what I mean? But I thought last year was disappointing because the draw was good. But the positive thing about last season was we competed in every game bar the Atletico game. But Atletico was the sending half kills us, do you know what I mean? But we competed in every game. So the next step for us was to build on that, and we did build on it, and we did. So the next step again is even if we get a pretty shite draw, we're in there competing, and we want to get to a point where see where they drop us, they draw us, they kind of go stinker. Do you know what I mean? Rather than, I mean, like, see if you go back and look at the media in Munich in Germany when they drew Celtic, they were saying Celtic because they were either going to get Celtic or Man City, and they go us and they're going, oh, brilliant, class, and we're near fucked about. Do you know what I mean? And it's like that would have been wonderful. Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, when the chip, see when you actually in the cold light of day, they weren't a great side in Bayern Munich standards. You know.
No, of course.
I don't know if you would agree with that, Scott. I thought there'd been a lot better Bayern Munich teams, but they still won the league.
Yeah.
You know, so at the end of the day, so maybe I'm doing Celtic a disservice here.
No, I do think you're doing them a wee bit of disservice because Bayern Munich. So who did they eventually go out to? Can anybody remember? I'll Google it now if you can.
I've no idea what happened yesterday.
Right, so Bayern Munich went out 4-3 against Inter Milan.
Inter Milan, I thought.
4-3 against the finalists.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? They battered Bayer Leverkusen after us 5-0.
Aye.
So I mean, I do understand. It wasn't
do you know what? I'm definitely I'm doing Celtic a disservice there.
I mean, the competing thing in Europe's what it's all about because we're all realistic. We're not too daft to believe we're going to end up winning it, but as Dortmund proved, and you were in Madrid and you were in Paris. Watching your team getting battered 6-7 is
horrible.
It's still good at all. It does nothing for your psyche, man. Right, we'll jump on to any other things to talk about, or will we jump on to
the questions?
Questions, and we'll think about wrapping up. Right, so to let everybody know, I sent the boys 10 questions just to with regards the season. I have answers from myself, Joe. Joe, you've got your own there, or do you want me to read yours out?
Read mine.
Right. Jason, you've got yours. I've got Liam's, and we've got Martin's. Is that right? Is it Martin?
Yep, Martin for the Green Brigade. So I was talking to him earlier on, and he's like, when's the pod on? So he's like, I says that, you know, I don't fucking bum and blow our podcast. It's just a fucking rabble. But this is the one podcast. Once a year, I always say it's a quality podcast because Scott runs a show. There's some amazing background checks and background information and a lot of research into the season. And I'm sure everybody agrees. I think it's the best podcast we do every year. So I always look forward to it. So I was talking to him, and he's like, and his missus is out in France. She's listening tonight as well. I says, fuck it, he's your choice. So Martin, that's been on the pod for the Green Brigade, he's gave us his choice as well. So
right,
Martin will stick his in as well.
we'll go for it first, right? So we'll start with you, Jason, right? Player of the year. Easy one.
The king dies in the header.
Yep, Dyson. Joe.
Easy. Dyson.
Dyson. Liam said Dyson. What did Flanagan say? Because you know he's like a wee fucking contrary.
He said the same, I'm sure.
He said Maeda, and to complete the set, your man Martin said Dyson. Right, young player of the year. I think we're going to get full sweep again. Who did you put, Joe?
Engels.
Engels. I put Engels. Marty put. Engels. Marty put.
He didn't.
No, he didn't. So who did Martin? Who did Martin for the GB put? He's got Engels as well. So
Engels,
everybody's got Liam's got. Liam changed it. Liam's got Mercado. There you go. Okay, now. And who did Flanagan put? Flynn put Francis Turley. So there you go. We've got two different ones.
Right.
Right. But this is where Marty goes to town. Who's your surprise player of the season? And I'll start with Marty. Marty's put Liam Scales. And then Liam's got Maeda. He says, I knew he was good, but I didn't think he had that level in him. Jason, who did you put?
Exactly the same.
Same again.
Yeah. An exact same reason.
Yeah. Martin for the GB said the same. Dyson, exactly. Surprised just how fucking good he became. Joe?
Luke McCann.
Right. So what, did you not expect him to be good at all? Or did you
I didn't expect him to get the time that he got, and I didn't expect him to be as fucking completely steady as he was. I mean, he just kind of he started in perfectly, and he also added. I was like, you know what? I didn't expect this. I thought this guy would be kind of sitting in the background. I mean, and he is a wee bit, but see when he comes on, there's a confidence, there's a kind of barrel chestedness to him that I didn't expect to see from a guy coming from Dundee. It was surprising to me, going like, you know what? I like this attitude. I like it.
Yeah, he's definitely a player. I think squads like Celtic need. We need guys like him. We need Tony Ralston's. We need guys that love the club, want to play for the club, and are willing to fucking bust their ass once they go to the pitch. Huh?
Yeah, good players as well.
Yeah, exactly. I put Nicholas Kuhn. I've got him. So see for my player of the year, I had Dyson Maeda, obviously, but I had him just edging out Schmeichel. And again, Nicholas Kuhn edges out Schmeichel for me because I didn't expect Schmeichel to be as good as he was. But Kuhn, I've told this story a good few times. When Nicholas Kuhn signed for Celtic, a mate of mine had seen him when he was 16, 17 playing for Germany. German guy, yeah. And he says he loved him. He thought he was an unbelievable player. He says the way he was beating guys, he thought this boy was aiming for the stars, and it just never happened to him. And even when watching Celtic games, he was like, it looks like he's a busted flush. It just looks like it's never going to happen for him. So because of that, and then we spoke about it earlier on about the summer tour, how he just looked like a different player altogether. And it was interesting that he spoke at the end of last season. And do you remember he was just coming out of form at the end of last season? And I think it was a Celtic TV thing when, do you think the seasons came a bit too quick for you? And he says, no, I'm tired. I need to get back into training. I need to get a good pre-season. I need to show everybody what I can do. And I've got to say, I think he did. I mean, I think he gets a fair bit of disrespect. The hope now is if he stays, he hits that level again, but for longer. Huh?
Say an autograph, you can't.
Right. Biggest disappointment of the season. I think we've already kind of done most of them. Right. I'll go with mine first. The Dortmund one, in terms of how sore it was, wins it for me. But Bayern Munich was ultimately a bigger one because of hindsight. See what I mean? We've already spoken about it, so I'm no labour on it, but But Bayern Munich wins it, but Dortmund was definitely fucking sore as hell. Joe, what did you put?
Losing to Rangers at Celtic Park because my
The
son's
3-2 game?
My son's first game watching us play Rangers.
Right,
And,
fuck.
I was like, you're joking now, you cunt, aren't you? Fuck this.
That's a fair shout, Joe. Right?
I was fucking sick. Cause see when I hit 80 minutes, I was like, we're winning this. You know what? I met Donna outside, Liam's wife, Donna, and she was fucking fuming. I was like, you just see it was me thinking the last 10 minutes we were going to win this. She's like, I was certain. I was fucking certain. And it was such a kick in the balls, man. Oh. Anyway.
Marty's went with the last 6 months. which is a bit mental.
That might be a personal thing.
I don't know. Liam put
when you actually count 6 months back, we won a trophy there.
We've won 2 trophies in that spell.
Aye, 2 trophies. Aye, the league and I was actually, I think, the League Cup, but
here. Big P Davidson, big Fred is in the chat. Me and Joe cuddling in work. So after that game, me and the wee lad we're coming back. We went out to Cambuslang go-karting, which we love doing now, and then we were coming back on the train, and we're coming through the Sentinel station, and big Fred was there, and it was one of them ones that spotted him last minute. I was like, oh, it's a big hug. And we were both kind of like raging. But kind of communal raging. You can kind of get to as Celtic fans going fucking.
Hey, but Joe, he's put that down as his biggest disappointment of the season.
I know.
Right, so Liam's got Dortmund. J-Bo, what did you have?
I had Bayern Munich, crestfallen.
And
devastated.
Yeah.
Martin had the Scottish Cup final. So
I was actually wondering that Nene hasn't put the Scottish Cup final. I wonder if anybody would have. Fair dues again. I think everyone's valid, apart from Marty's 6 months. That was a bit mental. Right. Disappointing player of the season. We'll start with Martin. And he said Ida. He said Adam Ida. Right. Joe, what did you say?
I had in the Rocky time. Now, that level of disappointment is down to the fact that I think when he came in, he did very well. And I thought that he kind of got a wee bit sidelined. Because not only was he a guy who was kind of like in the background or on the bench, he was almost forgotten. See, when he came in and played against Rangers at that game that I just mentioned, like where we fucking lost, I thought he played really well. And I thought anytime he'd stepped in, he played really well. And I was disappointed to never see him.
That's a great shout, Joe. Honestly. Right. And there'll be some in the question 10 that you'll laugh about relating to yours for Martin. That's a great shout, to be honest with you. Mine.
Liam and myself were combined here. Paulo Bernardo. That was mine.
I thought of that.
I really expect loads of him, man, and I just don't think he's getting near it. You could always say he's not really had that proper run of games, and I think that's a fair comment, but he's done nothing to suggest he deserves to be playing for Celtic every week. Nothing. What about you, J-Bo?
Mine was Nicholas Kuhn, and obviously got to qualify. It was just,
of course,
and you made great points about he's never played that amount of games, but it was just how good he was in the first half of the season, or even more than the first half of the season, to how he just fell off a cliff. Because he was the player of the season without a shadow of doubt. Dyson Mayhew wasn't even in the fucking running until Kyogo left, really. And then they just fell off a cliff. And but no slagging the boy. I was disappointed that he didn't keep that up, but you've made valid points earlier on about the amount of games he played and whatever, but he was just looking in a downer when he was scoring goals near the end of the season and stuff like that.
The thing at Dundee United does stick in the throat a wee bit. You're like, fucking mind your neck. Marty put Kuhn as well, but can you tell us your original answer?
Original answer. Wait a second, I got my phone.
I can tell him what you want.
You do it. Sorry.
Right. Jason's original answer was Kyogo just went off the boil, then fucked off without as much as a cheerio.
Aye.
I know you already says it, but I thought it was funny because I never even thought about it. There's not even been much creepy videos or nothing, is there?
No, nothing. No, even a fucking thanks Celtic fans. Oh, you were great.
That was an Instagram post. It was an Instagram post.
Was that?
Well, that's how it works now, no?
I don't know, Joe. I don't do Instagram.
I didn't even see that, but I was like,
bunch of grand, I'll shout at the fucking moon. Fucking boy didn't say goodbye.
that was like,
He put a big Instagram post up, fuck's sake. Much he loves Celtic.
It was in Chinese though.
He's Japanese.
Did they get a translator for that?
That was a wee joke. Come on. Come on, man. We back casual racism on the fucking show. Come on.
What happened was they actually wrapped an entire bus that's going through the Highlands with the entire fucking Instagram post.
With their jet black hair.
Japanese haven't they get jet black hair, don't they? Don't jet black hair's Chinese, according to Harper.
Exactly.
That's why Harper's rarely on this show because he gets up with shit again.
He's too busy getting autographs at Sterling.
I'm too busy taking Japanese folk up the fucking islands.
Right, Joe, you're up next. Sign of the season.
Jota.
Which we understand your point, but it's quite a statement to make. I mean,
the feel good factor, and the buzz that came with it. Honestly, that's the only reason I'm picking that. Right? It's got fuck all of it. I mean, obviously, he brought goals to the team. He brought a bit of excitement to the team. But honestly, see the buzz around getting him back for fucking like next to nothing, and he's gone off and made his fortunes. And yeah, fair enough. He's injured and stuff, and it's all gone to a bit of shit. But see that period where he was back, it was brilliant. It was like a warm bath. I loved it.
Joe?
That's a good one because I never thought about it as basic as that. Because it was, I mean, like, see, Kyogo, we spoke about it and we all kind of knew if Kyogo doesn't want to be here, he's almost regressing as the player that he was. We're getting 10 million for a fucking, I mean, but then we offset it and you bring Jota and you were like, yes, fucking yes.
Aye, it was like, I mean, I feel like Celtic wiped everybody's eye at this moment, getting Jota back. I feel like, I mean, obviously, the injury thing, we'll see how that plays out. But I mean, I do get the feeling like that we just not want to watch, fucking stole a watch at the end of the day.
Obviously, the way it's worked out hasn't been perfect, but at the time, Joe, 1,000,000% away. Yeah, and I gave the same answer. So I'll give you mine, Scott. Anyway, so I made a bit of a fucking deal about this. So she says, "You're signing the season." I says, "What I said to Scott was,
I think it's a good answer, mate."
I says, "I think it could be Engels in time because I think the boy's class, and I think he will become class. But at present, I'd say probably Sinisalo or McCowan were amazing value for what you paid for them, 1 million each. Sinisalo didn't lose he lost the St Johnstone game away, sorry. But McCowan, amazing value, but end of the day, Jota wins for me. I'm the usual, by the way."
Mm-hmm. It's a very good one, right? So we'll go through it. So pretty much the same. So Scott, myself, I've got Casper.
Yep.
Liam's got Casper. Martin for the GB, Casper. And Flynn has got Engels. Which is...
There you go.
I'd like to hear...
All those are fair, though. All those are fair.
Yeah. I'd like to hear a bit... Engels is one though. Well, that's yeah, never mind. Right, so best matches.
Just on Angles. We'll stop on Angles. Like Angles is a package that you're investing in, right?
No, I know. That's how I don't think
it's definitely there. It's there. It's definitely there.
But but he's not been our player of the season.
No, he hasn't. Not at all. No.
But see, we've not even touched on the fact that 3 years picked Casper Schmeichel, which, see, at the end of the day, if ever they actually looked at it like rationally, that would be the sign.
That's it.
Definitely. I mean, it wasn't so much I was against signing him. It just seemed a lazy. It seemed a lazy signing, and I hadn't seen him since his team get relegated. Do you know what I mean? For the English League.
I know, but it kind of appears now that the strategy is like, I mean, he's the kind of next level Joe Hart to a degree, and Sinisalo's the kind of, I suppose, the Jedi to a degree. You know what I mean?
See, we're doing fine there, Joe. We're doing fine. We were doing good. We didn't need that.
Padawan.
Right. See, before we move on to the next answer, there's a raging chat on the chat room. I've just checked. I can't sign in. So Big Fred has done some research that Harper's full of shite. The only Chinese people get pure black hair, because Big Fred says most of Africa has got pure black hair, and he's done some research into this. So Harper's actually full of shite.
Do you know what? I am astounded that this news is coming
out. I actually thought the chat was saying that Harper wasn't white.
As a person that has Nigerian friends, I'm like, what the fuck? You were lying to me.
What has happened to Declan? Fucking Jedi.
What are you saying, Joe?
What are you saying, Joe?
Do you know what I hear? By the way, lads, I got a delivery the other week right from a fucking woman used to work with Fiona, Nigerian woman, Fimi. And like every time I have a party and she does Nigerian food, I get a package. It's the best food I've had in
jollof rice.
Jollof rice, fucking smoked fucking cod with the head on it, right? This fried plantain, fucking peppered snails. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Here we go.
Ridiculous.
I've been to that.
Jay, you love it, man.
Oh, I'd be all over that.
Anyway, that's the food section covered.
Right. Next answer.
Right, we'll start with Martin. So, best match of the season. Performance-wise, he says it's Munich away. Flynn has went with Atalanta. Liam has went with Tannadice, winning the league and having Zoe with me. So, he's went with a wee personal touch. Well, I'll go with mine then. So, best match of the season, football-wise, is probably Munich or Leipzig. I think Leipzig is a whole game, but it's not really even a defining. But see, getting off with that storming start against Slovan Bratislava, that was class. That was really good. I mean, I don't think, have we ever won our first game in the Champions League?
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have. No. It was perfect. As I said, I'd done my research. I knew we should be beating them, but that's not how Celtic work. And we've done it, and we've done it the most efficient way, and we were good for the win. And it's just a brilliant game.
You know what? That's great, Scott, because that kind of victory kind of seems to be somewhat maligned by the fact that like we've played bigger teams.
Yeah, doesn't fucking matter, does it?
I know.
Like the Huns going a bit the big super run and all that, but see when Aris beat them and they still keep ramming into them. I mean, it's great fun. But it was really good. And bearing in mind, gentlemen, that was the game after I'd watched Kneecap, if you remember my story about that. So I actually missed the whole second half because I was blotto.
I actually reckon if we did an AI search on when you said that phrase on this podcast, it might come up in the hundreds.
No. Fuck AI. Right. So, Jubal.
Mine was Leipzig. Kuhn was unreal, and Hatate was class. And just to me, it was like, that was a game to say we were back into like the Martin O'Neill times at Celtic Park and Champions League material. It was like you were then confident that you were going to start beating teams, and it was like it's been a few years since I've been confident Celtic, because we've been through it all with Lennon, Dyla, all that, and teams. And I say to you guys, I says we are actually verging the stage that Real Madrid could come to Celtic Park and beat us 10-0. We're so far off the mark, but then playing a good German team and we absolutely fucking thumped them. And that to me
see the thing is, again, to touch on Joe's, people are kind of maligning that result as well because RB Leipzig had a poor European campaign, but we went out and punished them. That doesn't always happen with Celtic. That doesn't always happen with Scottish teams. They were having a struggle in the time, and we went out and punished them. We put them with the sword, and that's to be celebrated. That's not to be kind of, you're lucky. I mean, see, we've got to if a team's weak, we've got to take advantage of it. And we did, and we deserve credit for that.
Sometimes there's the winning in those moments, Scott, that it goes between like taking your opportunity, being lucky that opportunity came.
Yeah, I mean you're damned you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. People criticise us, myself included, for not beating Dynamo Zagreb when they were at a weak point. But they don't give us any credit when we dominate RB Leipzig. Well, they were at a weak point. So what? Again, Celtic are just damned if you do, damned if you don't. So, I mean, we are at that stage anyway. Fuck the world. But that RB Leipzig game was... I mean, you can go and stick on the new and just enjoy it. Same again. It was absolutely brilliant. And the two guys he picked out couldn't put them in the sword, but Hatate proved again on his day he's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right, Joe.
Yes.
You.
Leipzig.
Uses your Leipzig, right? Okay. Defining moment of the season. We'll start with Flynn again.
Flynn's gone.
Yeah, we'll start with Flynn. So Flynn says the defining moment was actually qualifying from the league, because he says get out the group, so I don't know what he's talking about. Martin said the Ida goal versus Young Boys immediately took our Euro campaign from a poor one to a good one. I was laughing about this because he's giving Ida the goal for a start.
That goal was a Tommy Johnson special.
But I'll tell you what.
It's a great point. It's a very good point.
And do you know what? It was probably the best celebrate. That might be one we bring in next year. The best celebration of the season.
Yeah.
I'd say that was the best celebration of the full season. And the thing is, Ida didn't score it, but if Ida didn't do what he done, the goal wouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. Aye. It was hugely important. Aye.
But it was that was to me the best celebration of the season.
It was a really frustrating game as well, because me and Joseph were at that game. It was 3 disallowed goals and a missed penalty.
Oh, well, man.
Who got the other disallowed goal? Kyogo 2. Who got the other one?
Did he not get 3? Or am I wrong?
I think surely not.
Surely not. Don't call me Shirley.
Shirley.
But I know that goal was like, it was like a fucking... There's a big pregnant pause as that ball kind of bubbled towards the goal. I mean, it was like, fucking...
I was at the other end. I was at the other end, right? I had the goal. No fucking idea what was going on.
It was great. And the atmosphere that night was great. It was a good game.
And by the way, a big special thing to the Green Brigade and the boys, because we said in the podcast after it, remember, see when it was 0-0, see about 15 minutes to go, the ground erupted and started going mental, getting behind the team. And that's really hard today. See when you're under all sorts of pressure and you're dying for them to win. but like you're just nervous. But everybody just get involved, and everybody.
It was Kyogo 3. It was Kyogo 3 games. 3 goals.
Three disallowed goals, and Eagles missed a penalty.
Eagles missed a penalty. As I say,
right in front of me.
Casper Schmeichel made the 2 big saves in the second half as well. Madness. Some game. Jabo, what did you say?
I said
Atalanta 0-0.
Aye. So that was my like that was the kind of epiphany moment for me, that just after the Dortmund game, you're going there and you're saying you're going to get fucking humped here. Just keep it respectable. And walking out of that game, I had a fucking realisation that Brendan Rodgers meant business, and he could do it. Because before then, look, I can mind the night. Well, it was the second last game that he had at Valencia away. I was sitting out in a cafe, and Ellie was with her pals for school. And I gave them fucking my bank card to go to Burger King and get something to eat, and I end up talking to boys and that. And I'm like, well, I've just realised now, fuck it, we get 10 in a row. We're not going to do anything in Europe with Rodgers because he doesn't change his style and whatever. And then he fucked off and left us. But I after the Dortmund game, I'm just like, here we go again. And then could not believe the way we set up against Atalanta and the way we played against them, against a top-class team. So for me, that was it.
Yeah, well, that's a good shout as well, Jay. It is.
Well,
like,
you go, Jabo?
I drawn with Bayern. As sickening as it was, again, it was one of those things, Jason. I was like, we've come to a certain point. We've advanced, we've progressed at least to this point, to the point where like you're a bee stick away from fucking taking one of the best teams in Europe the extra time, and then potentially seeing how it happens or what happens after that. And I found that really kind of not inspiring, but very kind of like, you know, comforting, going like, you know what, we are going somewhere. Something is happening, and Brendan Rodgers is, you know, or has brought whatever it is he's learned in the years he's been gone back to the club, and this sort of difference is now evident. I mean, it felt really like fucking progressive to me. I was like, you know what, it's sickening, and as much of a kick in the bollocks as this has been, I felt very sort of proud in a way, and a sort of like, yeah, you know what, this is not for nothing. This draw won't be for nothing. There's something behind this. There's a momentum behind where this come from. And I think that's what kind of kept me sort of going, you know what, this is where Celtic can and probably will go.
Aye, good shout, Joe. Do you know what? Sort of taking a kind of piece here a wee bit. But there is a bit of me that you've touched on, Scott, about how we go this season in Europe, right? And say, I mean, I would hope Brendan Rodgers maybe signs a year extension. Maybe he won't, maybe he will. But I would love to see it happening so that we've got a wee bit of stability, that we know he's going to be here next year. If he doesn't, and he's done what he came to do, right? But see if we progress and say we get to like the quarters in the Champions League, like that's dream material, right? And I think it's virtually impossible for us to win it, right? When you look at the level of teams that are playing there, fucking it's kind of impossible. But with a bit of luck, you could get to the quarters. But see if he was to do something like that this season, he would maybe just fucking dedicate the rest of his managerial career and say, right, if the board's backing him,
yeah,
he's getting these results, he's like, fuck it, I'm in here. Let's fucking try. And I think it's impossible for us to win it. I do. But nothing's impossible. It's only a game of football. But when you watch that PSG destroying fucking
fucking hell.
Fucking hell. They would take about 25 off us.
Aye. That's why it kind of falls apart. Isn't it? Like they're fucking ridiculous.
Right,
the thing
I'm going to fling in a different one. I kind of touched on it. So at the final moment, the Atalanta game definitely is probably the correct answer, to be honest. But see that Ross County late win after Dortmund, that was fucking huge. That was really big, man. I mean, probably the Huns being shit means it wasn't, but it just seemed huge because you've come off of that doing, you're undefeated in the league and stuff, and now you're 1-0 down at half time, and it's a late winner, couldn't a game with a peach, you know what I mean? So I thought that was a big one as well. Right, we'll move on to 9. So we've got 2 left for everybody, right? Funniest moment of the season, right? So we'll start with Marty. He's put Dortmund away. I'm glad he can laugh.
He has to make a lot into his answers, to be fair.
Well, he done it 2 minutes before we started. He done it 5 minutes before we started. 2 minutes of Joe was in time. But right, Liam's got a different one for us. Liam's got Tav missing the last minute penalty against Queen's Park, which fair dues.
Not watching that close, as far as
oh, come on, that was class. That was class, buddy, man. Right, Martin for the GB. He's got funniest moment of seeing the game being interrupted by tangerines at Tannadice. That's him patting himself in the back a wee bit there. But
it was funny.
Right, Jason, you go for it. This is a good one.
Mine's was the Green Brigade with the old songs. So obviously they sung the KT song the week before, and they got the wrath of the manager.
I think I was an Dundee United game when the one you're talking about here, innit?
Do you know, I was thinking about that.
I'm pretty certain it was a 2-0 Dundee United game midweek. I'm pretty certain that was a game that the Green Brigade fought back.
Right, so what was the game? The game was obviously the Saturday before or whatever.
Yeah.
They sung the KT song. Aye. So obviously they sung Kieran Tierney, and Brendan Rodgers says it disrespectfully to Greg Taylor. And I don't think Greg Taylor would look at that way. So obviously that was that. So then he goes in the midweek game, and it was like, fucking, it was unbelievable. I'm not sure it was a midweek game, was it, Scott? It probably was.
Right, well, so I think it is because we hadn't signed Tierney yet. That's right, isn't it?
Oh, so, definitely. No, it was long before
5th of January, we beat St Mirren 3-0 at Parkhead.
It was in the media, though.
Right.
Oh, no, but it was kind of rumoured it was going to happen. 5th of January, we beat St Mirren 3-0 at Parkhead, and then on the Wednesday night, we beat Dundee United 2-0. And that was 3 days later. And it all ties in. I'm pretty certain that's how, because it all ties in, because Tierney wasn't signed at that point. Right, crack on, sorry.
And then they went
so then sent to that game, and then the Green Brigade just came out with a plethora of old songs. It was and the best bit for me was
right, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you again. So that was the 2 games we're talking about. And Rodgers said it was just the kit man. He was the only one that missed out. I think Rodgers had.
But it was like, see, sitting at the game, I was actually in tears at times when these songs came out. I couldn't even, loads of them you remember, right? But there was
the Loose League song came out at one point, I think, as well.
There was some right obscure ones that were fucking, you're like, yeah, the answer, no. And everybody was, the atmosphere in the stadium was absolutely brilliant. It was just fucking class.
The fan responded by singing Odson Edward, Henrik Larsson, Victor Wanyama, and Jimmy Johnson. He says it was just a kit man. He was the only one that missed out. I think it's all part of the dance here, isn't it? Listen, my job is to put the best team in the pitch, and everybody can.
You know what? That's a winner. I hadn't thought about that. That's a winner.
That's a good one, isn't it? Well done, Diego.
My appeal's away.
Mine was you, Joe.
Mine was Barry Ferguson's orange Ford Ranger.
What?
You may explain that, Joe.
Remember he got after the job at Rangers and he arrived at Ibrox in an orange Ford Ranger.
No, I don't remember this at all. Jeez.
Look it up. It made me. I laughed my bollocks off when I could say to me. I was like, talk about leaning into a cliche. That's amazing. It's definitely out there. An
Oh,
orange
sure
Ford
enough.
Ranger.
Sure enough. Okay, well, man.
I laughed my balls off. I was like, that's pretty funny. I mean,
I had
Right,
no idea that happened, and I'm still fucking
do you want mine?
totally.
Right, my funniest moment of the season, right, and a bit of hindsight in it, the Club Bruise fella getting a doing.
I
Oh Jesus! Can I change mine?
Reap what you sow, really, innit, man?
Oh Jesus Christ!
I got my doing, man.
Fucking hell! I was going to say a couple of names here. I bet I'm just shocked.
Oh my God! Oh fuck!
Oh, I was going to. Oh my God, Scott, that just got me there. Oh my God, that was pure proper belly laughs. Okay, that's mine. That's mine as well.
That one's out, Scott. Hands down. You caught me off guard.
I was getting the train in and he sent me a picture of him fucking walking about the England flag. I was like, fuck this, man.
What did he actually never break a promise or some shit?
I never break a promise. No, my friend's in the hospital. I was like, fucking not do me, mate. Okay, well. Poor hands. Do
you know what? He probably needs more hands. You know, face like that there.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Scott, that's brilliant.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Right.
That's the high point of the season.
Home straight, Joe. Joe, you know this is all coming at you.
Yes, okay.
You know this is all coming at you, Joe. So we'll start with you then.
I know.
We'll start with you, Joe. Right, so Marty's not getting in. So, Joe, what's your worst homeboy take of the season?
Something I've said.
Just something you said, right? Okay, so we'll get into it then, right? So Liam has went to you that
here's I was gonna say we need Liam's intricate fucking dissection of everything that's been said in this podcast.
Right,
to make any of this
Engels is a new Balak, right?
He forgets fuck all.
Right, Engels is a new Balak. Martin for the GB has said, he says, worst homeboy take of the season. Narowski doesn't get in the team because he's farting in Rogers' pieces.
I can't even mind saying that, but I said it a couple of weeks ago. Well, there must be something in that, because that's what I was talking about, Joe, when you said about the bad thing about Narowski not getting in. I was like, he fucking must be farting in Rogers' piece books or something, because he's fucking obviously getting the ability to play in a game of football.
Right, Joe, I'm coming at you for mine as well.
Go.
When you suggested that Hattati can maybe get himself a move to somebody like Birmingham.
Once again, I didn't have any idea which league Birmingham playing.
Or who Birmingham are, fuck's sake, man.
I hadn't watched Welcome to Wrexham. I've watched the new season now.
There you go. PJ says this award should be called the FC Copenhagen Award. Well done, PJ. That was good.
That's a deep cut. It's a deep cut.
And last one, Jabo, you to finish it off, my guy.
Mine was a few weeks ago, Joe, the podcast, when you came on and you started started off, you'd lost fucking a month and a bit out of your life. And we started talking about the Rangers game. You're on about the one at Parkhead and played them.
Parky, that went the go-kart.
We played them a week before fucking Ibrox. And then you just kept on. For the next fucking 10 minutes, your dateline was all the shop.
That's why I get paid the big. That's why I get paid the big bucks.
That's it, mate. That's it.
Brilliant.
Oh,
It's a ramshackle fucking train, but you know what? It's this in the tracks.
Oh,
well done, man. Well done, man. Good
that was amazing, Scott.
That was brilliant. That was good cracks.
Honestly, God, I am. My tears are streaming down my face here about that Bruges guy. Oh, fucking hell! Oh my God! Oh,
It was just surreal, man. It was just real surreal, man.
Oh God!
I completely forgot about that until you said he got it down, and my body convulsed, going, I fucking forgot.
I think he'd like 4 broken ribs or something. I was like,
see the best thing was I got a text of a guy that seen the guy battling him. Oh Jesus! Oh fucking hell!
Man.
The thing is though, they were going to a fucking Hun pub. They were all singing Hun songs and they were waving an England flag.
But didn't he text you?
They're poking the bear a bit, and they're pardon the pun.
Didn't he text you and say, "Oh, we've got this base, it's Oswald's"? And you were like, "Okay."
That was where it all started. He says we're going to Malone's, and I was like, "Oh, it's a good pub." He says, "You come out," and I was like, "No, I'll meet you before the game." And he's like, "Well, we're meeting up in Oswald's," and I was like, that would be like a big, massive Rangers shop. And he's like, "Oh, well, that's where the club's going." And then I was like, he says, "I'll come and meet you later." And I was like, "Right, so we're going for something to eat." And he sent me a picture. We're in Glasgow, and it's him and his pal with an England flag. And I was like, I don't think I'm bothered meeting this guy. You know? I just fucking leave it.
Guys, give me a second. I'm going to...
Right, that gives me a wee opportunity. So, for anybody who downloads this, or any of the guys who are listening now, I know a load of the guys. So the Green Brigade football tournament is at St Roch's this Saturday afternoon. The annual tournament, a great day out. Hopefully the weather holds for the lads and all the teams playing. But my good pal Billy, who's been on the chat and he's helped out at St Roch's a long time. He helps out with the Invisibles as well, and they're doing a trainer collection at the GB tournament at the Rock this Saturday. So if you're heading up and you've got an old pair of gutties that still could do a job for somebody, pair of shoes, pair of boots for people getting called on, stuff like that, stick in a bag, take it up, they'll help you. You know what I mean? And it would be a wonderful thing to do. So there you go, Billy. That's my job done.
Top class.
Right. I think we're just about done. I've got my bed to go. It's fucking 11:20, man.
It is indeed on a fucking school night too. Well, he's got on the toilet. He'll want to come back and say goodbye to everybody. So
right.
we've got a full space.
So what's this, Fred? That big fanny they had as a manager trying to climb the adverts. Remember that? Fuck me. Well, that was early. What was that? When they played at Hampden, was it? Big Clermont.
That was really early in the season, if I recall.
Yeah. They beat, I think they beat St Johnstone 2-0. I could be wrong.
Was it the quarterfinals? It must have been, because it was at Hampden.
No, but remember they played at Hampden because the stadium was not.
That's right. And then there was this bouncy fucking thing to get together. Look how together this team are. Look at Philip Clement has them doing. He has them dancing.
He's been out blading them fucking recently, hasn't he? He says like, the club's a fucking basket case and stuff like that. So
you know what? As much as I hate your man fucking Sam Jordan, right?
Oh, he nailed them in the water today, didn't he? Jeez.
Shut through the heart.
Yes. Help me, him fucking son died. Name me a blue dollar for him.
Do you want to see him hanging around Celtic Park though? Fuck off, you cunt.
No, he's a rotter, man.
Who?
Simon Jordan.
Oh, he comes out the door.
Just saying,
Belter,
he's
but you think
he's
he's
Well, that's what he done it today, yeah.
Aye, but he's no my cup of tea.
Right.
I'm going to say, funniest moment, remember all the fucking, everybody fighting in the Santa hats?
Oh, aye, Santa's little scalpers. That was no bad. That was no bad.
Right, I'm going to be getting going, gents, if you want
Right.
to kind of close it
Right,
off.
so I think that's us done. We're almost at 3 hours now. Scott, that was incredible.
Well done, man. That was good fun. That was good fun.
Man. I enjoyed that. Brilliant.
Cheers is up, didn't it?
And
Yep.
crowned
Cheers is
off,
up for a fucking...
crowned off by great memories of the Bruce guy getting his bollocks knocked in.
But as I say, I've put the name of this, just a double. You would have thought fucking after that Aberdeen game we'd fucking got relegated, wouldn't you? Just a double. Well done, Celtic.
Do you know what?
To be fair, out the lot is Martin was the only one that put his worst moment of the season was the cup final.
Aye.
You know? And it just bloody where when you think about it, Faye, I'm 53 now. Got to watch Celtic. First game I was 4. And going every week Faye was about 11. And you think to where you have the now for my daughter going every week, like what she's watching now compared to what I watched, unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Here we are. Here we fucking are. And we're not going to be late for this. In fairness, like I mean.
But Joe, I really hope. I hope Aberdeen can kick on. I've got my doubts. I've really got my doubts about Aberdeen. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do kick on. Hope Hibs can keep going on the trajectory they're going. Hearts, it's about time they fucking rat bags get their finger at their asses. And it would be a great thing for us because we're us. The thing that hover over us for next season really is Brendan Rodgers. And it's something I would like clarified kind of early doors.
Aye.
Because see, once you get into it, it will become the question every press conference. What are you doing? Are you going? Are you staying? And
well, there's a big opportunity this summer, isn't it? Like to go like he's here for another 2 years, and here's a big war chest.
I
would like Celtic to give him that 1 year rolling contract.
That's what I said today as well. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
definitely.
I do.
Because it protects us as well. Because if somebody takes him, they're weighing us in. Because obviously they're taking him because he's doing magic things at Celtic. And see, to be honest, in my head, I think he's very settled at Celtic. But you know how the guy works. The guy's fucking egomaniac, right? But there seems to be something different about him this time than there was the last time.
Yeah, he seems more relaxed, doesn't he?
Aye.
Aye, there's something a bit more fucking.
I think he
loves more settled.
He loves living in Glasgow, and well, by all accounts, I don't know the guy personally or anything, right? But it seems to be like he seems to be settled, as you say, Scott. And I would like Celtic to show ambition, all that money in the bank, just fucking give him the dough because he's a fucking top class manager. And I know we all doubted him after the Dortmund game, but he proved us wrong fucking 3-4 weeks later. And he's a top class manager, regardless of what anybody thinks about the guy as a human being or whatever. You know, but fucking, there's all these mad stories about how he's fucking crazy and speaks French and stuff like that. But I don't really care. See, as long as he manages Celtic and the things that he's done back home, you've seen the things that he's done that's no been publicised and stuff like that. You know, we've all got over the way he left us because he left us because he's a guy that wants to further his career and obviously make money for his family. I mean, there's no fucking disgrace in that.
No.
But get him. I'm not saying another long-term deal because he's still a young man, and if a top-class team comes in for him, like fucking say like a Man United, a Chelsea, or fucking whatever comes calling for him, then you can't really fucking begrudge him to go and do that because you're limited what you can do in Scotland. But to give another couple of years, but at the end of the day, he did say he would see his 3-year deal, and he says he would only leave if Celtic would end him. So he's doing that, and I just from a Celtic perspective, I want to keep him as long as we can. Because I don't think we get any better. And by the way, we've not even touched on the prodigal son's returning, Kieran Tierney.
Well, that'll be the next podcast because it's fucking 3 hours.
He's coming on. We're getting him on a pod.
That's not going to happen.
Well, we've just been knocked back half a fucking kneecap. See if we knew if Paddy had new kneecap like when we first proposed it, we'd have probably got him, man.
Aye.
You might well talk about him ages ago. I see your man John Paul Dyke says that he had an opportunity to get him on, and he said in the age he forgot all about it ages ago, and he says no, he can't get a sniff of him. So, but
there you go.
If we think, what pods are we thinking over the summer, gents? Is this an off?
Well, you made a great wee suggestion, Scott. Don't you go? You tell it to the listeners.
Well, no, it was just not dissimilar what we've done tonight. We basically just break down a season, one of our favourite seasons, and I would guess the ones, the Roddick final, the 1997-98. Jason, you'd probably even fucking go back. I know Harper always went on about Centenary year being his favourite and stuff like that. So we just break them down and we just kind of get everybody involved, talking about their favourite moments and their memories and stuff like that. But I've actually so there was a fella online and he's in, Joe, you're probably more interested in this as well, but there's a fella I follow online. He's a big Wrexham fan. He does his own pod and stuff like that, and blogs and stuff. And I kind of followed him myself from afar because I like Wrexham as well. Like you, Joe, I kind of really like that show. I think the show it surprised me how much I actually like it as a team I've already liked. So it kind of helped. Do you know what I mean? But this boy seems a right decent guy. And then just out of nowhere, Wrexham had played on the Friday, I think, or the Thursday or something. And he's like, now I'm heading up to Liverpool to see Charlie and the boys. And there he is sitting in a Celtic tap. And I was like, this guy's a superstar, man. This guy's a peach. So I sent him a message and I said, would you fancy just coming on a pod, just having a wee bevy, just sitting talking about Wrexham, talking about yourself and all that? And he's texted me back tonight saying, no problem, we'd love to do it. So I'll probably fling one of them out soon enough as well.
Brilliant.
I've got another wee Wrexham boy who's up at Celtic Park. He'd come on one as well. He's one of the fucking nutters that followed them everywhere.
I'm not surprised with that, Jason. I'm surprised.
No. But see that idea, Scott. I'll tell you right now. See the season. I would do the season where we stopped doing 10 in a row.
Yeah, 97-98, big one. Yeah.
I'd want to do Martin O'Neill's first season. That's what I want to.
Two belters. I mean.
I mean, there's loads I could pick, but that be the one that jumped out to me because that was a fucking utter roller coaster, and people would be absolutely shocked about how shite we were towards the end of that season.
100%.
100%. Got to every game then, how much it was fucking, it was unbelievable, the pressure we were under. It was just absolutely mental. But I not definitely do them during the summer, right up for that. Totally.
Right, Joe, close us out and let's get to France.
We are done, folks. That was fantastic, Scott. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And we'll see you in the Beano, folks.
Well done, everybody who fucking puts up with us. These are all me.
Exactly. Listen, folks, by the way, just as we close it off, we've had a wee message today from the guy I mentioned the other week, Jerry, who we give money to in Belfast. And he's doing the Lord's work. He's out there this week. He's young girl he supported for a number of years, who's so homeless, got her own place. This was bare. And Jerry used some of the money we gave him to go in and paint the place and lay down carpets and use his own resources. And just to let you know that these things, the money you just give us goes directly to help people like that. And just we know the Jerry.
No, I think you should elaborate a bit more than that, Joe. You sent a couple of photos about the stuff that he's done in the house. That house looks fucking unbelievable. What he's
Aye.
done for people.
It was bare walls and bare floors, and he went in and he fitted out carpets and skirting boards and painted the place and furniture, and you know what I mean, like, used all the resources, including our money that we've given, well, our money, your money that we've given him to make this a home, essentially. That's what he said to me. He said it's one thing to have a place. He said, but I want to make it a home for this person. So that's where this money goes, folks. It goes to these places.
Yep.
So
big thanks to everybody that listens to the podcast and donates to everything that we do. We're still sitting a bit of money here, but we only give the money out to people that we know and we can trust that it goes to the right places. And as I say, we don't mention any names. Obviously, Joe's mentioned Jerry, but none of you know who Jerry is. But we don't mention any names where the money goes to and whatever. But you can be rest assured that the money is going to the right people. And Marty, did Marty elaborate that we gave the gift to the girl? Remember the girl?
Did, yeah, he did. He spoke about it in the last podcast.
I mentioned it in the last podcast. So we've still got some money there, but we always make sure it goes to the right places. So you can rest assured your money's safe with us. And big thanks to everybody. And God bless.
Brilliant, folks. That's us for 3 hours now. Good night. Talk to you soon. Hail, hail.
God bless. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.